I step away from it. I'm not going to hit the long, not going to try to catch a falling knife. I'll wait for this to break the trend. If it does, we're going long on Tesla. Otherwise, maybe look for a DRAM entry at some point. One last headline before we throw you over to Sharif. There's a lot to cover, Sharif.
Baby.
That AIXC, I don't know if it's going to open long enough for you to trade it.
It's halted down.
Yeah, halted down again. UAE Defense Ministry announced on X that air defense systems spotted a missile threat, and oil continues to have a slight glide higher. It's not panic squeezing or anything over on USO, but we did reverse pretty heavily. Rough day for the markets, but hey, it was good for the shorts early, and there were some longs out there. Apple, strong when the market's weak. You know how that one goes. We got Joey options again because he's put in work all day long. Sharif the professor, small caps, midday madness, whatever you want to call it. Y'all are going to have some fun, and I'm going to get a Powerball, which sounds delicious to me.
Dum, 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 dum. This thing better live up to the expectations. You know, you're talking Powerball, right? Oh, you caught me quick there, Assassino. Boom. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy Joey Opsh. I'm Sharif, and it is a busy, busy one today in the world of small cap gappers. So let's just say hello to everybody quick, and then let's get right down to work because there's a lot going on. Luis Suarez, don't bite nobody, baby. Red Potato, shout out to Christmas. Fluffy, Toe Cutter. Yo, keep that toe cutting on that side of the screen, my boy. KC526, we got Wick, James 99, Gorev, Oleg, Zen Zombie, Grunfeld. Shout out to my man Manny Olives, Outlaw Trader, and Brooke Lavy. Tab TV Gaming, okay. Blunder Corp, shout out to 1320. Oh, it's been a minute since I howled, bro. Bretta Maria, shout out to Georgie Porgy. Who else, man? Dino Vincente, Medical Meatball, James. We got Juan Ramos. We got Grabbing Our Future. Just grab the future by you know what and bring it over here, man. Patrick Irving, Rex Banner, Mr. Thumbs Up. Shout out to Crazy Dirt Weed. We got Danny Patel in the house. Shout out to my man Yannick as well, joining us. Grandmother Son Garden, Mr. Janky Stock, Rohan, Deepak, a guy from work, and Dave. Shout out to Trader K20, Kirk D. Let's freaking go. Trader X2V and Mac Grevo. Shout out to Stark Official and Nguyen. Shout out to my man Nguyen. BTV. I don't know why your comment got held back by Streamlabs, but you know, Streamlabs is a bit of an enigma. It does hold back some of the names or some of the comments that I wouldn't hold back. Just before we say hello to Joey, IPST, here we go. Limit up, $50.99. IPST catching a bid. This thing just rocketed up from $13 into $50.99. False halt. Limit up is 99s. You'll always be able to see that on my screen. But something tells me that limit up could be a little bit higher, 16 and change, by the time this one resets the timer. So down into 15 a third we go. But IPST, oh my days. This one going. There's not a whole lot of support here, guys. 15 is losing it. We have the 10 EMA on the 5, right around 12 bucks. There's a bit of a consolidation area. I want to say around a 15-minute-ish consolidation area at around 13 to 14. But we're going to have to keep a close eye on this one as we have AIXC limit down here into 299 halt time, 10:59.43. So we'll keep tabs on that one. But there, as I mentioned, there's a whole lot to talk about at the moment. IPST, chief among them, though. Joey, should I send it to you? Do you need some time?
No, I'm all right.
You're good to go?
We can ramble on here a little bit. Let you get your everything going. You got the small caps on lock there. Starting to form a couple indecision prints around the lows here in NVDA and the overall market. So I'm starting to like what I see, but we can confirm that the trend is completely down, ladies and gentlemen. So just be cautious of that. How deep are these bounces going to be? No, we don't want to buy any of that. I got to make sure that I'm involved and tapped in here to Unity. Don't want to get in trouble from Assassino over there, so we'll log into this. A lot of trouble. Yeah, I know, man. We got to avoid all of that stuff. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, you're going to have to give me a second. Yeah. Oh, all right. We'll get into that momentarily there, my brother. Just waiting for some reason I can't even exit this. But anyways, we'll figure that out momentarily once we send it back over to Stream. Listen, guys, we've had 2 trades on today, right? That was Apple. right off of this low. Boom, we're fortunate enough to take that up into 311.55, and then NVDA off of the lows as well. Gaurav, you said you were looking for something. Now these signals are starting to look pretty good. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this here for a retest of this opening print of the 11.05 marker, 219.02. We post up via NVDA looking for our third entry via some of these chips. Is the overall market going to find a rebound? Let's see. After VinFast, we'll do that momentarily. Let's see how the financials have been performing, because S&P 500 a little bit stronger than what we're seeing here in the Nasdaq. Now, where do I look? Financials and healthcare. Shreev, I'm going to send it to you over for a second while I prepare.
Yeah, of course. We're going to send it to Sia, but IPST, limit up. Here we go. We got in at 1588, up into 16 and 3/4, 1677 limit up. Now 1702 limit up. It continues to progress. $20 is my bias here. $20 incoming. How we get there and in what kind of shape and zigzag pattern we get there. Your guess as good as mine. We're going to try to put the best trades on we can, but for now, we got to send you up to the big desk. We'll see you.
Bank of America saying that NVIDIA could be up to 50% undervalued, and it's said that NVIDIA may trade at a 34 to 50% discount. Investors could be overstating these AI-related risks. It did go up a little bit, pulled back, and now currently also trying to go up. So Bank of America is seeing NVIDIA's aggressive AI investments as a rather long-term opportunity despite this potential balance sheet risk if the demand continues to slow. And BofA has maintained a buy rating and a $350 price target, implying significant upside from NVIDIA's current price that is around $219.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. Keep us apprised of what is going on there. Still dilly-dallying here with IPST, looking for a general trend continuation, knowing that there is going to be weakness along the way where we end up finding some support. Your guess as good as mine, but we have a bit of a topping tail candle into 17. It is a 699 high right now. So let's keep an eye out on this one. We're looking for a 17 breach, but we're generally looking for a 16 hold. 1689 popping off. There it goes again. Limit up into 17.4. Give me my damn money, man. Let's go. We're going for more, Joey. Limit up into 1762. Here we go. Let's go. Again, we're getting caught in a limit up. We got 1646 on. We're showing 63s right now. Boom, Casey. Give me my money. Into the high of the day we go on IPST. Rip City. Rip City. Yes, guys, this is limit up. Boom. Into the high we go. We're already doing it live here on frickin' Trader TV. Go, IPST, go. Look what it's telling me, Joe. It's telling me you're yelling. Unity Klein is already running. It doesn't want me yelling. Oh. Where'd you get that one?
Bo Bandy.
Yeah, you're doing the OB, huh?
What's that?
OB had to do that yesterday. You could have seen how disappointed he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, am I equally as disappointed, or was he a little bit more?
Your tone gives a little bit of that, I'm not gonna lie.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Did I swear?
I love this guy, bro. It's like I can like tippy-toe around when I know he's not in a great mood, but that's because I don't. So shout out to my man. All right, Joey.
Yeah.
We're limit up right now on this monster.
Good
so
stuff.
IPST, Joey, we're showing 1761 top right here, even though we halted at 62. So we're packing the patience. She's doing it again. She does it all the time. You know why? Because she's pretty profitable. I mean, shout out to my girl KC520-6 in the chat. She just dropped 10 membies here. So let's go ahead, read them out. Look at that, man. KC526 sent 10 Trader TV Live gift memberships. More magnanimous she could not be. Pickle me timber. Okay, like that one. You received a gift as a result of Casey. G-Talk, Strobe, Today's the Day 65. Remy J82, Mujaffar, Sammy, who else, man? Shaquille, Tony, Doss, Ubos, and Cake Fine. All y'all received a free Trader TV Live membership thanks to the very lovely lady known in the chat as KC526. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that as a result of KC526, you guys are now eligible to get my morning note every single day. So I got to show you where to get it because it's not entirely intuitive. You mosey on over to the Trader TV Live homepage on YouTube, of course, and then you're going to have a series of tabs here at the top, one of which is going to be called Posts. Just click that bad boy right there. You're going to see a members only badge in the green, followed by a link right below it. You just click that bad boy right there. You get the morning note. It was up bright and early today, man. I think I had it out like at 7:35, like right after 7:30. So it was ready to go there. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Should I do it? Assassino. Well, okay, let's do it. Where Assassino instructs, and I do. Quick reminder, Trader TV Live members can get Sharif's Mind daily morning research note every single trading day. We are talking about the big market stories, the key levels, the trade plans, the catalysts, and what we're actually watching into the open. It is only $4.99 a month, and you also get members-only videos, posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. Hit join below this video to sign up now. Let's go see Sia.
Two things here. First of all, let's talk about GOGL, Google having a little bit of an uptick here. So the AI startup that was built to become the next Zapier, which is called Relay, is now shutting down, and the founder of the company will be joining Google. So Jacob Bank will be leading Chrome's product and developer relations teams, according to LinkedIn, on his LinkedIn. Also, let's take a look at AMZN here, falling a little bit. It'll be growing its Louisiana data center investment from $12 billion to $18 billion with a third data center campus, which is why it's causing a little bit of a downtick over here. Nothing crazy of a volume spike, but AMZN saying it will be growing its Louisiana data center investment from $12 billion to $18 billion.
I have to shout out iGrow Fighting, Joey.
What did he say?
He just dropped another 5 membies.
Oh my
in the
days.
chat, man. Taylor Stedman. Brian, you got one, Brian. Brian's a fellow small cap trader. I like Brian. Nick Downs, M1K3, DAPS 741. All you guys got free Trader TV Live memberships thanks to iGrow Fighting and the other people that I shouted out. You got one as a result of KC526. And boom, shout out to everybody there. I hope you guys are having a good morning. Joey, we're still waiting for resumption on this monster. The whole time is 11:07:49, meaning earliest resumption will be 11:12:49. It is currently 32, so we have another 15 seconds.
Well, give me another 30 seconds.
Brother, of course.
You
No,
get a good 30 seconds there.
You ask, you get, my boy.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
You're gonna.
I can continue talking because
No, I'm good. I'm good to go now.
Right.
I'm good to go now. We can ramble on a little bit here. Listen, 2 attempts on NVDA as we're starting to take a move. 34.65 is where we can post up looking for an entry. That's going to give us an optimal risk to reward here. But Assassino, lest you wait any more as we fire up something here. Uno momento, mi amigo, but AMD looking pretty good off of those lows. Man, oh man, has the liquidity really dried up on some of these names? And I was referring to Bitcoin earlier via IBIT. From what we used to trade on it, there is very, very little liquidity, and you can see within the price action. But guys, VinFast reported strong Q2 momentum, delivering more than 70,000 EVs globally, up 96% year over year. First half deliveries reached nearly 129,000 vehicles, up 78%, reinforcing the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. By mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W deliveries targets, putting the company firmly on track across both growth engines. VinFast there, ladies and gentlemen, ticker VFS. Now, dare we take an additional long on this name, or do we head over into some small cap momentum? I think either way, we're going to have a good time because we did go 50%, 1 for 2 here on NVDA and 1 for 1 with an absolute monstrous move on Apple. Thank you to our good friend and longtime buddy here on this show, Gorev. Who were you going to say? Oh, limit down. Oh, you said limit down. I thought you said something else. Howie Mandel. 306.40. Now, you're not a big fan of Howie now? I mean, I like, what's his name? The one guy that he, I'm not even going to remember his name. I'm thinking of somebody totally different that he used to have on the show.
This show?
No, Howie. Howie. But anyways, here it is, right? So this is a really good entry, guys. We were fortunate we posted up 306.40s, and then we take it all the way up to 311.18s. So that was a nice little move for us bright and early this morning in our second trade. But here it goes. Gorev, 1 minute on the Nasdaq, volume increase. This could be a good signal. If it breaks the low, you get out of dodge, and we're seeing it across the board on a couple of names. There it is on AMD, there it is on NVDA, and there it is on the Qs, not the T triples. You will see it reflected on the leverage play. So keep an eye out on that, just in case we do get somewhat of a sustained rebound. But what we do want to keep an eye out on is some resistance zones. What was prior support can act as current resistance as Apple's starting to come back in. Feels like a monstrous day, but we're only, I shouldn't say we're only up 1.5%, considering the rest of the market is down 3% respectively. And I'm referring to NVDA down 2.4%, Google down a 50%, SpaceX down 3% as well too. Oh no, not SpaceX. Am I going to be buying a little bit more of this? No, I got to save some cash for Anthropic because we're going to be getting that late September, early October. My birthday is not immediately. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I have no idea, because this could be a play where it's like in the span of the first week of trading, it doubles or something crazy. So yeah, I might limit on open in the personal.
Can I say something though?
Absolutely.
People are complaining on X about Anthropic.
What are they complaining about?
They're complaining about Claude in the last 2 weeks ish. Either throttling down, like it's not like, even when you put it on high or medium or whatever, like off the basic setting, it's not thinking for as long, it's not giving as detailed of a response, and it's like not completing the task, so to speak.
Oh, really?
Now this could be temporary. They've done this before. Remember when they upgraded to Fable and their computers were melting? So they throttled. Even Jose noticed it, because Jose was trying to get some stuff done. He's like, yo, I'm getting throttled every time, right? Yeah. And so people are complaining about that again. Typically they do that, Joey, when like their compute's maxed out, right? And then they
I was about to like, do you think you're getting these limited responses just due to them trying to be conservative on tokens?
Well, dude, look, they don't own their data centers yet. They're taking compute from anybody they
can get their hands from,
right?
So
Who they struck a deal with, CleanSpark or Marathon or whatever it was? Anybody that can get their hands on.
They can give them some.
So I don't know what's going on there.
Compute power. Yeah, nice little rebound in the overall market though, Sharif. I know you got some small caps, but that post up on NVDL is no longer 3470. We're now printing 3484s, and a nice little steady grind higher here in the Nasdaq.
Yeah, man. Even bets on Sun Hems Bond. I probably butchered that whole thing. Look what he wrote. Oh, Claude has been shite lately. Very actively switching to Codex time to time. Interesting.
Listen, I'm a fan of GPT, man. I know. But what does this tell you though? Like, if these guys are really struggling to gain compute, maybe this goes on a little bit longer than what we're expecting to keep up, and especially if you have more adoption within the technology as well.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have a compute constraint problem than a crappy LLM problem, because their LLM is good. It's just they can't utilize it to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me spitballing here, man. Mangaloo, Sharif. I've noticed that too with Claude. I have a paid tier. Likewise, we have it with work, and in just the past week, I noticed it wasn't remembering things from within even the same chat that I needed to correct. I just had the same thing yesterday too with that. You too, Assassino? With Claude. Yeah, what is going on here, man? You're not using it these days. Yeah, like I'm telling you, something's afoot. I think they need to fix their compute problem. In any event, we're going to wait. We're going to see exactly what happens here, but I am a little bit worried. We're in. I see it, Case. It's already on the side chart. Case calling it out. Lots of people have been calling out OSRH, ramping into a new area high, about 80 pennies or so. But we needn't to become myopic, right? We need to look at yesterday's price action, specifically in the aftermarket. Take a look at that 1505. So I'm talking about that's not the pre-market. That's not the aftermarket. 305 candle that got to 80 pennies on the dot. Today, 79.94, essentially 80 pennies. So we need to be alive to that 80 penny resistance area. I'll submit to you though, we get above 80 pennies, we're going to the dollar, right? So OSRH in focus. We're open here on IPST open. It was limit down. It's trying to hold 1650 where there was a little bit of action before. Boom, up into 18 it goes. It is a 2025 high. right? I don't think this is broken down quite yet, but I want to see a breach of 2025 for me to start saying $25. Because why do I say that? Because we started trading this one, you know, in the 17s, 18s. My bias was 20. We got to 20, right? We got to 2025. We put in a topping tail candle. We limited down. Subsequent bar has lower high, lower low. So it's got all the recipes here for a reversion. Doesn't mean one will manifest. So you got to be alive to the price action. Keep your eye on the 5-second chart. Spot areas of local support and resistance. But for goodness gracious, I'm going to pound the table on this as much as I can. Do not add into a downtrending small cap gapper. Those are far and away my biggest losses. See ya.
UGI is up 6% and climbing. It had an insane volume spike just now. KKR has made an offer to buy UGI for $42.50 a share, according to sources and the Wall Street Journal.
Thank you. So can you do a quick run over on Duolingo? Absolutely. Got an upgrade this morning as well. We can pull that for you momentarily. DUOL. But Sharif definitely contributing to the paid memberships here on Duolingo. Looking pretty good, but big time. You would think this is a small cap gapper that has been halting on every time after it opens up, right? It's just something that we don't often talk about from a day trading standpoint. But if you want to talk about risk to reward, it might be leaning to the top side. If you ask me, I mean, this has been a steady channel so far. And I mean, they're starting to ramp up their digital ads here. If you're not in the paid systems, which I'm not, you see it left, right, and center, especially with those Unity games as well too. Unity. So channel up on Duolingo, and if you're looking at $86, man, oh man, that's a big time bump up here in this name to the tune of 62% off that $82 low. But if you zoom out, it's really, really ugly in Duolingo. So a couple of positive tailwinds here for this name. Let's see if it can find its way to recovery. But the market is definitely so far. Do I have to get involved in some S&P 500? But first things first, I bought some more JPM. When did I buy some more? I think on Friday of last week or something along those lines. I bought some more JP Morgan. Why? Because it's working. And I mean, could I be continuously buying higher highs? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I believe what I'm doing. But when a name like this has just been on a beautiful run since the 300s, going up to 364, I'm going to be keeping my eye out for $400, and I'll buy a little bit more at that level. But let's see how the financials are performing on today's session. JP Morgan up down to 50%.
Picked up some of these.
He picked up some of those.
Think about that one right
Yeah.
there. Not too bad, right?
Yeah.
How about these shorts? Look at these shorts, Joey.
Oh, all right. They're too colorful for my liking.
Yeah, but you wear them on something black, you're looking pretty good there.
All right.
Can't have too many bright colors.
Can't have too many bright colors there. 1.3% to the downside here in Morgan Stanley. How's Goldman Sachs been performing? Down 2.3%, Sharif. Hey, these banks pull back to the lower end of this range. Anything south of this shelf here, I think those are going to be some good buying opportunities. How's Wally's World? Where's the rotation today?
Where's it at?
It's going over into Wally's World today as we are up 1.4% and respectively Costco up 1.6%. But we've been holding this base at 107 that I've been talking about for quite some time. So not a great, but not a horrible look here in Walmart as you are positive on today, where if you head over to the tech sector, who's down 10% here today? Ooh. Bloom Energy down 10, Sharif. Damn. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit tougher of a look, but here's all the memory names, all down high single digits at this point.
My man. CAST is ripped into another area high here. CAST on the NQ up 35%. This is a decided break of the dollar because we did dilly-dally right around that dollar area. $1.22 high now. Be on the lookout here. We're into that 1 1/5, almost at 1 1/4. So I like some in the 110 to 105s, okay? That's where I'm going to set up. With a loss of, like, say, 102 or 103, it gets me out of the trade. Now, I am involved in OSRH as we continue to dilly-dally south of 80 pennies. I've got in an initial position here, which is smaller, so that I can work my way into this level. I like the look of OSRH's jib, but I know full well we're at that 80 penny resistance area where we had trouble clearing in the aftermarket yesterday. Look at this. Look at this, Assassino. It can't print anything above 80. Look at that. Just 80 there the entire time. The sellers are at 80. Oh, they killed them, Joey. Into 82 we go. We're looking for more. We're looking for 83s. Give me my money, please. Here comes 83, 82.90. Didn't cross into 83. Now I'm going to set up at 85. Aw, boo. It got up into 83, literally into 82.99, and it didn't give me the print there. So whatever. We're continuing to watch. OSRH in focus. Looking for a bigger move on that. Looking for $1, honestly, on OSRH. Let's see how this cookie crumbles. But first, let's get into that 83. There's Cast. Cast is ripping. Here comes 124. There's a high day breach. Big seller at 24. They killed him. Into 25 we go. Can we see 26s? Not immediately. I still like my area of 115 to 110. Alas, it's not coming in because it's Rip City. Rip City. And, you know, I hate punching in at the highs. So just looking for a bit of a move down here, possibly into the high to mid-teens, pick something up. Maybe mosey on into the third of $1 or possibly back to the quarter. We're going to be scalping out here on CAST, but wow, Cast. There it goes into another high, 129. The buyers are in control right now of CAST. Shorts beware.
I actually posted up as soon as I seen that high of the day break. I'm like, all right, let's see it. But again, these momentum, it makes it a little bit more difficult for this high of the day break, especially when you've already breached it to post up. You do have to punch, but coming in aggressively here. So let's see if we get that retest and then maybe an additional bounce. So I got my eyes on some of these small cap names. Oh, wow. Whoa, that's crazy. Good thing we went relatively small because that was a massive liquidity grab. Now you need the rebound. Keep our eyes on the tape. Oh, okay. There we go. A nice little pop. We want to see a break of 130. Streets in and Cast at 122. I'm in at $1.20.
Oh.
Let's say 2 cents ITM. But what I'm seeing and what we are seeing, I should say, here on the tape is that it doesn't look like the buyers are in control at this very moment. So we see these clean flushes and there's orders at 21. We need the next wave of participants to step. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, we're out of dodge on that one. I mean, we take a little bit of a hit on that. Nothing crazy. 120 out at 110s there. Like so we get out of dodge there on this bad boy CAST. Broke down aggressively. Man, oh man, maybe we just stick to large caps today. Happy about that. Let's see what kind of hit. Yeah, nothing. Small potato was on that one. I'm glad that we didn't go full risk unit. We took about less than a half, so about, we'll call it 30% here of a risk unit, as it just absolutely blew past this previous pivot high, which I was looking for it to hold. Not necessarily the case. We already had those opportunities, but at this point, I think it might be a breakdown moment. Look at the volume increase on it as well. Sellers might be in control on this one.
Hold.
What does that mean? Get out of. What does that mean? Get out of dodge. I'm pretty sure it's an old saying where dodge is actually a place somewhere in America that you say get out of dodge. It might be even from a movie as well too. So I'll look that up momentarily and get you more of a firm answer, but an old school saying, get out of dodge and head somewhere else.
Yeah, man. I still like it. I get that was a big drop, but I like the look of this one's jib. It's holding up at key levels. Yeah. So let's go ahead and post here. So that's what we're doing. We're looking for a move up, 15. Okay, not bad. There it is. There it is. We're up big now on it. Doubled the position up here at 12s. Looking for a move above 20. So there was a pretty staunchy seller initially at 20s. So if that seller comes back in, I'll be alive to that. But already up nicely here. Looking for a little bit more. There's 16s. Looking for 18s possibly. And I really want to see 20s though. And 21, 22 specifically. So this one does drop back down into that kind of flat top break. That's why I got back into it. There's 18. Beautiful look here as we get right back in, looking for 20s, double the position size. No continuation now. So we'll take out some more here. Oh, this one's going against me, though. I have to get out of OSRH. So I have my out at 69 because that's where the volume weighted average price is. If it loses that level, I'm out. OSRH could be trouble, though. I've put my out on that, so let's see how that cookie crumbles. We need to focus on CAST because I put a big position on at that level, so I need to ensure that it's going to kind of try to resume trend here. I need to see something in the 20s to make me rest a little bit easier, and right now we're getting high teen sell-off, so I'm going to be forced to take profits a little bit earlier, lest this one turn around against me. 18 showing up again. There we go. Good look. Let's post here. At 19s, looking for a move. There's 19. Thank you very much for my money. Looking for now 21s. Let's go ahead and post there.
21.
Good stair step up, but a lot thicker of a trade this time around as it comes right back into 15. this could be trouble here, Joey. What do you see?
I'm looking at the exact same thing. I'm looking for the tape to turn around, and we want to see those clean flushes at and above the ask in order for me to punch again. We'll take one more attempt for potentially the break of that previous pivot high, but if it wants to break down, then we'll just avoid it at all costs. But again, I'm hyper focused on it. That was a quick breakdown, to be honest. You lose 10 cents just like that, but way to stick to your guns there. Sharif has it punched up, almost got back to 20s, but then selling pressure started to kick in here one more time. I do like the slight curl over that we're experiencing right now. Now we need this to hold up and that wave. So again, there it is. We want to see a strong flush, printing 17s, printing 17s. I did see 18s there momentarily. All right, let's rock and roll for another push up into 20s. Man, oh man, if this doesn't happen relatively quick, then we really got to get out of Dodge. Thanks for the clear up on that one, ladies and gentlemen. I remember why Wild West reference on there. Yeah, see, it broke down on the 16s, and we doubled up. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. See you later. We're sticking with the large caps. No continuation so far, and a big-time breakdown. We took 2 attempts on cast. Didn't work for us on this one, so it's like, all right, just like that, we'll drop them like a bad habit as we get back some of our little bit of our day. Ain't a thing about it. There goes AMD off of those lows, and the overall market. We should have took these opportunities here instead of trying to find any form of momentum. But hey, it is what it is, and we'll rock and roll. I'm not doing what I did last week. We're gonna have to keep on to some of these W's here and hold on to this green day and get rocking and rolling once again. Are we sending it over now? Okay, not yet. All right, I'll ramble on for a couple of seconds. So a nice recovery. This is what I was talking about earlier. Indecision print, right at the lows, bang, off to the races. NVDA, indecision print. So we've seen it across the board on these 3 names, and sure enough, when you see it on multiple underlyings, it's a good opportunity to take them. So let's see if we can find something that's been lagging for us here today. I'll stay away from the memory, but what's SpaceX been up to? $142. Now an inside kind of day, considering what we've seen over the past week. So this is a consolidated base, but we also looked at the options chain here on SpaceX. Yeah, one moment, 150 has definitely been a resistance zone for this name. Let's see if we have the ability to break it at some point throughout this week. Send it over to the desk.
We're here to talk about the European market with Juan. He's going to take us through what looks like a pretty red close.
Yeah, another red day for the European markets for this week. A lot of geopolitical and energy concerns, as well as a cooling UK labor market. Now, we start off with the Stock 600, down by 0.63%, their 6-day low, based on surging oil and bond yields overshadowing that of quiet Q2 earnings tailwinds. Now, in Germany, the DAX was also down by nearly 0.8%. Rising oil prices, higher bond yields fueled by US-Iran tensions weighed on the market. Now, tech stocks led the losses in Germany, including Infineon down by 6%, Siemens Energy down by nearly 5%, and Hochtief down by 1%. Deutsche Post and Deutsche Telekom both gained as the top gainers for today in Germany. They were up by more than 1% each. Now, in France, we have some news from PM Sébastien Lecornu. He will be unveiling the 2027 budget, targeting a deficit number of 5%. He warns that any delay or if no agreement is made within this year, it might push the budget to next year and also push the deficit number to 6.5%. So among the biggest declines in France were Schneider Electric, down by 4%, Safran was down by 2.2%, and ST Microelectronics down by 6.7%. Total Energies rose by nearly 2% on higher oil prices, while some of the luxury names we mentioned yesterday that were declining did rebound a little bit today. Now, in the United Kingdom, of course, BP and Shell, they were both up on the high, of course, with higher crude prices amid that of the US-Iran peace hopes fading. Lower gold prices also dragged that of mining stocks such as Fresnillo down by 2.4%, as well as Endeavour Mining down by 2.6%. We have some labor market results as well. UK unemployment held at 4.9% for the 3 months to June, slightly above the 4.8% forecast. However, payroll employment rose only by 83,000, missing the 129,000 forecast, indicating a softer labor demand. Now, with regards to what's happening in the region, of course, sovereign bond yields. German 10-year bond yields reached 3.28%, a high since 2011. French 10-year yields also hit a 16-year peak. Investors now are pricing in defense spending as well as sticky autumn inflation. Keep an eye out also on Brent crude. Track your energies overnight. If Brent crude breaks $92 a barrel, pressure will be put on travel, chemical, as well as logistic names. It will also boost that of energy and defense stocks. And Wednesday, we also have UK July CPI prints coming in. A hot print, of course, risks that of spiking gilt yields, capping the upside for UK home builders as well as mid-caps.
Yeah, July CPI in focus there over in the UK, and tomorrow, of course, FOMC minutes. So in the US, so keep an eye, I think, on these pieces of economic data across the globe. Speaking of across the globe, at 3:30 p.m., one will be here to deliver the Asian market update with us. In the meantime, we'll go back to the guys in the midday.
Great information. Thank you very much again for that, Juan. Great look there. All right, we're hanging out here in a couple of trades. OSRH, we're looking for a 68 penny hold. That's local area low. It's above VWAP, so we're going to give this one the old college try. We just got a few beak wetters there up into 73 and change. There it is at 73 again. I'm looking for a bigger move up and a possible price spike. Also in CAST, as this one is holding higher highs and higher lows, a lot of bottoming tail candles here. There are topping tail candles as well, but there's a plethora of bottoming tail candles. I usually like that as a bullish signal. It means buyers are pretty aggressive and exuberant, especially if you're getting the bottoming tails with higher lows relative to the subsequent or the prior candle. So keep an eye out for that. CAST, I stop out below 108. That is prior candle low. There goes OSRH into 74. Give me my money, man. Let's go. We got 71s on this now. Looking for a bigger move up. We're looking for a big boy 75 break and take. And then we're going to report back to you guys on that. But right now, we're not out of the clear. We're above the volume weighted average price, but we do have 75 pennies of resistance. That takes us to the 10:15 a.m., that is, candle. Earlier on, that did reject around 75. It had a high there, of around 75. So we'll see exactly kind of what we get on that. So those are the trades we're involved in right now as CAST comes right back into my entry. It's much smaller position on CAST here than I have on OSRH. So that one was more at a technical level. OSRH I like because of the bottoming tail candle setup. And here it comes again into an area low. I'm going to stop out below prior candle low. As I mentioned, that is 108, Joey.
All right, good stuff, man. What the hell happened to SpaceX in the post-market yesterday? Or was it the pre-market, I should say. Off to the races, man. A big-time intraday session. Boom! Oh, yeah, I remember. I think I looked at it. Anyways, aside from that, what we do have, ladies and gentlemen, is some higher lows, so not too bad of a look. If that trend line breaks, maybe we can go SSPC. That's going to be the inverse ETF on the Amex over there. But Netflix up 4%, almost 3.5% to be more precise, but $78.70. Gorev's like, yeah, Joe, Netflix is up. I'm like, who? Anyways, aside from that, a nice little bottoming signal there, 22% off of those lows. Palantir in the negative today, and Auntie Kathy offloading her Palantir position, and AMD and grabbing some more. NVDA 219.56 down 2.5%. Now, as for Tesla, 0.68, so about 0.7% to the north side. Nice indecision print off of the lows, but guys, I'm not seeing any clear entries right now. I seen Cass reject that 20-cent marker. Again, which one was it? Yeah, $1.20. I'm like, let's just put that stuff on the back burner and find something else to trade. And we've been trading the large caps pretty well. Now, what we do have is a bull flag starting to form on Apple. If this holds up, then there could be a good entry for us here on this name. It holds that 310, and then now you're starting to bounce, but you can see we do have lower highs on the 5-minute time frame with that base being formed at that zone that we were just referring to. Let's see if this continues to hold, because you do have that wedge and that compressing price at this given moment there on AAPL. DRAM, man, oh man, disastrous. What once was hot, not so hot. I bid up 0.8%, but CRM once again bouncing off of those lows up 3.25, man. Holy schmoly, $147 $100 up to $197, almost $200. We hit that a couple of days ago, up 33.9%. But Robinhood, I'm really happy that I offloaded this full position.
Smart, man.
Yeah, I mean, we had the ride on it. It's just a space that I think, in regards to fintech, it's a little bit tougher of a look right now at this given moment.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to give me time?
No, I got into IPST. I scalped up pretty quickly. I didn't really like what I saw. Thank you, TT. Oh, who called it out? Let me just shut him out here, man. Zen Zombie called it out when this one broke 18. 18, a clear level of resistance. I don't think this one is done quite yet. Higher lows, higher highs, still in play here for IPST as we're making a move back in. It's just, I'm watching here and I'm seeing a lot of resistance at 18. Wow, it touches 18, drops right into 17. The spread opened up to almost 80 pennies there. I saw it live, and here comes 17. There's a buyer here of note at 17. He's gone 1680. So look, is it going to breach prior bar low? It feels like it has. 1666 was prior bar low. Now it's 1667. Okay, that's barely a break there. So I don't know how to feel about IPST here. As it feels flat topish though through 18, even though it's been above 18. A lot of rejections at 18 with some higher lows into those levels. So I think IPST still in play, quite frankly. Just it may bamboozle you along the way though. So that is the problem. There goes Cast, right back up into 20s. We added into Cast like a psycho. There we go. We're going to take off that one. No, why is it taking off the wrong ones here? Let's go 1, 2, 3. There we go. Boom. We're going 127 now, Bovin. Where's Bovin? Apparently he's trading from work now. Bovin was trading in the car yesterday, and then I got word that he was at work this morning, and he's punching in at work. There's my man. Get it, Bovin. Way to stay committed to your craft, my guy. But, the driving and the trading part, though, I don't know how I feel about that, Bovin. But, hey, if you can make it work, man, do your thing, 25. All right, I'm getting out of OSRH. It's starting to annoy me. It's just, taking up too much of my mental energy when I could be, wow, here goes Cast, 28, 29. There it is. Now we're posting at 33. Let's go, Cast. Held structure. The bottoming tail candles, in my humble submission here, are operative, especially how they were able to put in higher lows. Bottoming tail candles in and of themselves are quite bullish because they're showing you buyer exuberance at key technical levels. And then add to that the higher low on the bottoming tail candles. You see what I'm saying? 32. We're waiting at 33s. We can't get 33s. Now we're going to post at 37s, lest this one, liquidity grab to the high side. So it's a 132 day high right now on CAST. But we saw this story before. Just take a look at the candle at 1125 on the 5-minute chart. You know what that candle has, Joey? A 128 high and a 104 low. So get ready. It is kind of part of this one's composition to just move up and down pretty aggressively. If you're not ready for that, you're not ready for this one. So make sure you kind of know how this one has acted in the past and be ready for it to act that way again. So that's what I'm watching right now. Looks like maybe I got out of OSRH a little too early, but man, it's just, like when there are other things going here, I'm just not going to apply myself to the ones that are ranging. And there it goes into another high day, 135. Now we're waiting for 137. We got 114 on. CAST looks pretty good here. And if it keeps going in this way, I'm going to start thinking 2. But not quite yet. Let's see how high we can get. Perhaps we can get into that $0.50, and then we can make a better assessment at that time, Joseph.
Good stuff. Yeah, Casey, thanks for pointing that out there. And you know what I replied to? I said, what's not in Kansas?
What?
The Jays beating the Yankees over the weekend, winning this.
We did win the series.
Yeah, we won the series, and there goes Cassie. We have really broken. No, when I seen on that third attempt, I figured that it was going to be the time for it to rock and roll. So a really nice look there on Cass. I took our 2 attempts at it. We weren't willing to take any more. But when I seen this curl over on attempt number 3, you break that 20 marker and then you climb all the way up to almost 40s, $1.38. There's that previous pivot high before you start to come in. But what we do have is the volume supporting that. That's really important to know, right? Like if that breakout wasn't genuine, then you would see extremely low volume, and that's not necessarily the case there in cash. So really good play there and way to stick to your gun, Shreve. Glad that one worked out for you. I'm not in anything right now. I got to wait for some high quality opportunities to display themselves. We missed the train on NVDA for the reload. Apple's starting to break its wedge, and the Nasdaq slowly climbing back towards the volume weighted average price. Now, what we have here, though, is consistent lower highs. If we have a 5-minute candle, maybe there could be an opportunity, but I'm just not getting that type of vibe on today's session. I do believe that maybe you run up if you're fortunate enough to get a breakthrough VWAP, because at this point, volume's cooled off, and what we need to break through the volume-weighted average price is probably an increase in volume and momentum as well, too, and that's not necessarily the narrative of today's session. There's the S&P. We looked at the XLF, all of the big names here at the Morgan Stanley's, Goldman Sachs, and the JP Morgan's all slightly red here today, so a little bit tougher. And some of these other fintech names. Who reports after the bell? We're going to pull that up here for you. I believe Webull is at some point this week, but I will double check for you guys and see, and we'll take a look at some expected moves here today. I don't think there's anything big after the close on Tuesday. No, who are these? And Lazy Boy? Come on, man. Yeah.
You have any Lazy Boy in the crib?
No, I don't have any Lazy Boy. Yeah, that's high quality stuff there, Sharif. I don't. Tomorrow, Target. Okay, yeah. So tomorrow morning, getting into some of the real retail names. Target, TJX, Lowe's, Estee Lauder as well too. So that could be an all right one. And then Bill and Bull Holdings tomorrow. Webull Corporation after the bell. You see this Bill Holdings?
Yeah, I know
and
you
then
like
Bull,
that. Bill and Bull. I knew you were about that.
Yeah, Bill and Bull tomorrow here, ladies and gentlemen. So I mean, we're starting to wind down, but don't worry. Next week we have a big name.
Yeah, man, you're putting some shade on Lazy Boy over there, eh?
No, I like Lazy Boy.
Yeah.
Do you have any Lazy Boys in at the crib?
We got some Lazy Boy.
What is it? A sectional?
We got 3-piece, my guy. We got a wider one.
3-piece and a soda.
Crazy. We got the love seat, the double couch, and the bigger couch. This guy kills me, bro. Yo, come get your boy over here.
Get your boy,
He's
bro.
causing trouble, man. I love this guy. All right, man. We're having a good time. We're still holding cast over here. Yeah, Lazy Boy pull-up bars. Holy no, man. We don't. I have the pull-up bar, but you know, we've done that at Walmart. I showed you guys, but this was like a year and a half ago. We took a vacation. This was when we were doing the staycation. Yeah, remember that? We built the gym in the second bedroom. Man, I'm using it so seldomly now because when we started going live at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Because you were hitting it in the morning.
Because I was doing it at 5 a.m. straight out of bed, right? That was the move. And then when we switched to the 8 a.m., I started coming in a little bit earlier, so they can't do that. So now we're doing the.
What time do you depart tomorrow?
10 p.m.
Okay, so you're here all day.
Upgraded, my boy.
What did you get? Did you do the bid for the?
No. Okay, so.
Talk to me.
So it's British Airways. By the way, new high a day, Cast. Let's go, Cast. We're looking for $1.50. So British Airways, they got that. I'm going with
really
British.
Going here.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. It looks fantastic. We're gonna wait for 149, Joey. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a 149er.
What's up, City Boy? Yo, City Boy, I 305. I haven't seen you in a while.
Here we go, 145. Yeah. We're waiting for that one. So. Listen to this. So it had the option to upgrade inside the app. So it gave me two. It gave me premium economy and business. Business was like 2,100. Premium economy was 1,021. So I'm like, all right, man, look, I already paid for my luggage because it wasn't included. I'm like, let me call them, see if they'll remove what I paid for luggage, and then maybe I can pay the difference for the premium economy. Because premium economy, you get a bigger seat, and I want to sleep, right? Like the point of taking the 10 p.m. flight is to sleep, so I start the next day fresh, right?
Yes, sir.
So then I call them up, 10-minute hold, not bad. My guy, tell me why the upgrade on the phone is $765. In the app, it's $1,021. She removed the luggage charge that I had. I ended up upgrading for $680 something. Almost $400 off what they were offering in the app.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, so make sure if you try that, try calling. You don't know. You might get a deal.
Do you know, it's funny because the last time that I was traveling, all I had to sometimes just go and ask, Hey guys, are there any free upgrades available?
On the day?
Not upgraded to business, yeah.
On the day,
Great,
right? Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, thank you. It's a big savings there, so I'm kind of happy about that. And I don't usually upgrade, but like in this particular instance, I have to because I need to sleep. The entire kind of trip is predicated on me doing, 2 days in each place. So if I don't get sleep on the first day, it kind of hurts everything.
You got an adventure on.
Yeah, here comes Joey, 149, and there it goes into the high of the day. Cast 149. Here comes 150. Look for resistance here. It may or may not come, but my bias is 1.5 may be an area of resistance. So I'm going to look for a possible flush into 1 1/3. I like that 1 1/4 to a 1 1/3 range zone for a possible dip trade here on CAST if it doesn't continue to go in a straight line. So that's what I'm watching out for there, man. Tony, wait, can you explain what happened again? No, I can't. You're like Ozan, huh? Yeah, you troll me that way, man. Two-wheel crypto, XOS going for that $5 break. Say less.
SpaceX.
Here's what I see, man. I see XOS as a bit of a downtrend, brother. I see what you're saying in that it's kind of trying to make the move back above the volume weighted average price, but I gotta tell you, it's a little top heavy here. Now you got the move in the aftermarket yesterday. I like the move in the aftermarket 430 when all was said and done yesterday at the end of close. We closed out at 208. By the time we got into the high, we moved up 130%. And then from that closing print at around 759 to the high this morning, we moved up another 38 and change, 37 3/4, right? So this one has had a big move, and now it's putting in some lower highs. I don't know how to feel about this one. Look, I'll tell you something. If it clears that $5 area, it will be a decided change in trend, right? Because you get above that 1055 high, and then you're above that $5 area. Now we're looking for that pre-market high of 715, which is 538. Sorry, this, I didn't put the ticker. I do apologize for that. XOS is the ticker. And this is not a bad look at all, but I'd say it's caught in a bit of a downtrend. So you're going to need to wait for a reset here possibly on this one. But let me know how it goes, man. Hope you print up multiple storms.
All right, so Liberty Jack. What's up, Liberty Jack? I like what you have going on here. So I did my first option today. A 3-day expiration, Bloom Energy option, strike at 210 and break even at 217. Good till cancel expiration, 8/21, so that's Friday. Did I screw up? Now, I'm going to assume you want to put your call option in there. How much did you pay for it is a great question. Now, Bloom is definitely getting hit heavy today. I don't know if you bought it was down like 10% last time I checked, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but listen, man, that's what happens. Yeah, I mean,
I hate everybody.
Yeah, I know. Saying, down 9.8%.
You said that out loud.
Yeah, it's all right, man. At least you're being honest. We prefer honesty over.
Yeah.
And obviously we know that's not necessarily true. But there goes SpaceX. Now, Bloom Energy 210, break even 217. I don't know which side you're on. 217 is your break even. Yeah, I mean, that's not too good. How much this is going to cost you at this point and how much has it declined after the open is when you really run into trouble. So you have to be cautious on when you're purchasing your contracts, because if you get them at the wrong time and such near dated expiration, you're new, right? So you're going to go through the pains and understand why I continuously, that's me pounding the table, the importance of buying time in regards to options. Why? Because you can get hit extremely heavy. Like this contract lost the majority of its value right out of the open, 54%, and it makes it so much more difficult to find any form of recovery when you get hit that quick and that fast. So it's a learning curve. You did pay a little bit. I don't know when you bought it, but if you bought it earlier this morning, chances are you are down, but there's ways that you can mitigate your risk, okay? Now, I highly suggest you doing a little bit more due diligence before you get involved with all this. but it's relatively safe. It's not like shorting assets. It will actually help you mitigate your losses as well too, just in case you don't find the full recovery, all right? So what you can do is hedge your position, constructing a bull call spread, and that would be selling an options contract at a higher strike price where you start to collect the premium. Now, if the road to recovery is slow and steady, you're collecting theta on one side while your long contract is gaining value as well too, all right? So just keep that in mind when you get hit heavy. I know I had to do that in regards to my ridiculous amount of IBIT contracts. Otherwise, there would be $0 in my account. What you had to do is I had to sell contracts at higher strike prices and slowly collect that premium as the underlying asset absolutely faded into the abyss. So that's something that you can do considering you got hit pretty, I don't know, again, that this underlying asset got hit pretty heavy today, down 10%, all right? So who was that individual in the chat? I forget who it is. So hopefully that helped you, the 188.3. Listen, you got to do your due diligence when it comes to it. We find options to be scary, but if you know how to manipulate the contracts, even if you're just flat out buying puts and calls, it's pretty safe because the amount that you paid is the amount that you can lose. Now, you can pay a lot and lose a lot, but there's ways that you can mitigate and subdue that loss.
All right, options, man. We're looking here. We're back into cast. I got in at 41s. We scalped up into 46s. Next profit taker, 49. And then we're looking for a move above 50. But I have my stop at 129 because of this kind of flip from resistance to support area at 130, but local area low is 134. I could decide to limit the bleeding depending on what I see at 133, 134. It really depends. You're killing me, SRH. That's it. We're taking that off. So we'll lose again on this piece of crap. Got in at 74s, back into 70. It looks like it's just going to be a breach of that level. So I have nothing to do with this one anymore. It, keeps luring me in, and it doesn't hold up. Continuing to watch CAST. Want to see if this one's got the juice to kind of hold that 130 area. Again, finding support at 135. That's the second time. The second time in a row. This 1 minute candle has held 135, but it's a lower high. It feels like it might be coming down. There's a buy zone here. I would submit to you guys between 125 and 130. Let's see if it makes it down there. I have no idea, but I do possibly want to defend that area, hence why I put my stop below 130 at 129. So good out for me here. On OSRH, look at that out, Joey. Just smell these ones coming.
Smell it, yeah.
They smell like crap.
You sniff that.
All right?
Sure.
Yeah, they smell like, I don't know, a high school boy at the gym who hasn't been introduced to deodorant yet. It stinks, all right? And there's plenty of those where during my time slot, because I go, well, not right now, actually, because the kids are on vacation, but geez, man, during the year, whoo. All right, CAST, continuing to watch. Looking for that hold up here into 140, 141. It looks like it keeps holding up at 135, man. So bottoming tail candles are kind of part and parcel into CAST's DNA here. They keep manifesting on the 5-minute chart at different areas, mind you, and at different technical levels. So if that's going to be the one, how this trades with aggressive bottoming tail candles into technical levels, and we need to take advantage of that by adding into those areas. I haven't seen enough quite yet to kind of make me feel a little comfortable there. So we're going to pack the patience here. We're looking for a move above 150, Joe.
Good stuff, good stuff. Let's head over to our large cap scanner here and see what we got going on. Stocks. Let's see what we got from a volume standpoint. Man, oh man, maybe we find some form of recovery, but big time move here in SpaceX. It looks like we're going to enter this gap here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I wish I just bought a completely strong stock. 144 at this pace, it's going to get filled. So in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but I do have a little conviction here bright and early this morning. Now, where can we find some form of a pullback? We'll head into the detail. Hammer candle there, hammer candle.
Get it, Joey.
Man, oh man, yeah, it's looking pretty bright. Now, there's Apple above the volume weighted average price. Gorev, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to pull back a little bit more, and then maybe we'll look to re-engage here in AAPL, because if the market decides that it wants to sell off, then I think we have a good opportunity, a good chance to maybe go and test this 310 marker. Once again, that's where we've seen the most amount of open interest on AAPL. Man, oh man, these levels are coming into play like no other. We love it. Shreve's fist pumping. Before we send it over to Happening Now, let's see what he's got going on.
There goes Cast into the high of the day, 160. There it is. We take it out at said high. Here comes more, though, guys. The bid is picking up. We're heading to $2 here. That is my bias. CAST, far and away, the least bamboozling, I would say, of the small caps this morning, at least since I sat down. There it goes into another high day, 162. So we're going to look to add more, man. We've been all over Cast from whatever, 110 onwards, and I think it's still in play. You know, whether this ends up being a triple-digit winner or, you know, a heavy triple-digit winner, maybe into 200, 300, 400%, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, it's done about 29 million shares of volume, and I have to let you know that the float, where the hell is the float? Why doesn't this thing show up? Like, look at this. Where is it? Am I blind here? What's going on? Where's
You
it
have
at,
the column there?
Yeah, I don't understand where the hell it is.
The whole column ain't there,
Changed
my
since
boy.
open. Why is it not showing up?
Looking
Like,
for the
that's why
flow.
Casey called it out, and I didn't see it on the scanner, and it's still not there. That's so stupid.
Oh, I thought you were looking for just the float
No,
on
I'm
Cast.
looking for the scanner. Yeah. Anyway, it is now.
What, on Cast?
Yeah. Where?
Oh, I had. That's
how
how I
come you
found it.
have it and I don't?
Maybe mine's
Yeah, well,
elite there. Oh, see,
yours
it just
is
did you
E.
see it? It was
just
there
removed.
and then it removed itself.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Why does it do that?
Because they don't want us to know about it.
They don't want us to know, but you know, they also don't want you to know what's happening now.
Oh.
See ya at the big desk.
Thank you. Let's take a look at the markets real quick before we dive into what's happening now. Super short before we send it over to Neil. SPY currently down 0.5%. You have the triple Qs that are down 1.5%, and the Dow that is down close to 0.20% on the day. So nothing crazy over here. We did mention, and I did mention this earlier, just a couple minutes ago, UGI had been surging, and it has also been halted briefly due to volatility, but currently it is up over 11.7% on the day. Just reports coming in after the Wall Street Journal had said that KKR has made a $9 billion bid to take over the company. So UGI with that is up 11.5% now on the day. Nothing too crazy that is happening now, but what is crazy is Neil's lesson of the day. So we'll send you right over.
It's crazy? Well, the lesson of the day is not crazy at all, I don't think. But what all I want to talk about today is like the notion of reversals, right? And obviously, you're seeing the market catch a little bit of a bid. And it would be easy enough to tell you that if at some point you were looking for the longs after a slight downward trend and kind of a choppy downward trend, clearly if you magically found the bottom on the Qs, or maybe took some kind of a trend break or a bottoming tail, it would have worked out for you. I'm not here to tell you that wasn't the right way to go. All of that being said, there's one way to identify, I think, a bit of an edge when it comes to looking for the bottom in a situation like what we saw this morning. We had certain sectors of the market which were clearly weaker than others. And there was a lot of sentiment for a bounce and thinking that a bounce was going to come in. And I'll start with where I was. At one point, I was thinking DRAM. I really was. And maybe it's because it was long early and it gave you that scalp trade into the highs or whatever it was. But as I was looking at it, it's like, oh, it just keeps falling. It's relatively weak. I start thinking about, well, it broke out this support level. It's filling in a huge gap to downside. Like, why are we trying to fight this? Why? It doesn't make any sense. And then I looked over and realize, I'm in a short at the high on BMNR, and I'll get to why this should have been in reverse in a second, right? Like, think about the difference between the crypto names and what was going on with the chips if you're finding a low. Well, some are pulling back off the top and potentially setting up a bull flag, a dip off VWAP. It's still upward trend from the open, where it actually makes sense to go long. Now, I'm not mad at the fact that I didn't reverse in BMNR. We held it to VWAP. We trailed out of the short. But remember what we left you guys with right at the end at 11 o'clock. I said Tesla breaks trend and Tesla's along. This is the distinct difference with Tesla. Everything else, if you can find a stock which you're not bouncing off of the low of the day, but it's bouncing off a higher low, well, higher low means the trend up is intact. Tesla and a few other names out there had given you a breakout at the open. It's not a VWAP hold, but it's a hold of structure. It's the pre-market high dipping back and holding, and then you get that trend break away from VWAP, and then it goes. Now, would you have made money if you went long the Qs and you magically found the bottom? Of course you would. I'm not here to tell you you're not going to make the bottom. You make that bottom, you're good. You could have found the bottom on Micron as well. There's Micron. Okay, so for whatever reason, you liked it down here. But where do you think there's going to be more follow-through? Where is there more likely to be follow-through? On the name that was strong and broke out and is holding a higher low? I think so, but that's not even the most important part. It's something that Joe, and I'm going to bring this back to something that Joe and I were talking about to each other in the beginning of the day. And it comes down to, if you are looking for a specific direction on a trade, and I'm trying to gear like this stock or this direction or that direction, one of the questions I like to ask myself is, if I'm going to lose, do I want it to be here? And so I think it's a good way to approach it. Would I rather lose trying to find the bottom on this trending down, or would I rather lose trying to find a long on Tesla, which had put a wipeout bottom, which is trying to put in a higher low, which is playing into relative strength? So if Tesla loses the bid here, can I live with that? Yes. Now, if I lose trying to find the bottom on DRAM, which is trend down the whole way, am I going to be upset with Of course. You are always going to be more upset with yourself if you sat there trying to fight the trend, trying to catch the absolute low. But if you lose joining a trend, something was trending up. I found a good dip to buy. I found a good entry on an uptrend buying a dip. That's what you're supposed to be doing out there. And if I got to go down swinging that way, I can accept it. So you work your way through your progressions like a good quarterback, and not Justin Fields. I don't know why I had to take a shot at him. He's Big Ten, but it's the first one that came to mind. I could have taken a lot of shots. Sorry, Justin Fields, you're not a very good NFL quarterback. No, but you want to go through your progressions. Find the symbols, if you're looking for that reversal long, that are relatively strong. There's always, I'm telling you, there's always something in a bit of an uptrend. Whether you found SpaceX making some higher lows, whether you found Tesla holding VWAP, whether you found the crypto names. And I'm not saying you wouldn't have made money just being long DRAM at the bottom or Micron at the bottom, but picking out the absolute lows a heck of a lot harder, and it's going to hurt a heck of a lot more if you just continue to fight it as it goes down. It's the simple thing, but it does require you going through, finding where the relative strength might be, because it might be a name that wasn't on your list. Tesla wasn't on my list today. I was looking at DRAM. I was looking at, obviously we were looking a little bit at Klarna today. Of course, BM&R came into the fold because I was looking at crypto. SpaceX was in the fold for me, but Tesla wasn't. But it's going through the progressions to find that it was relatively strong, and then that's where I can play the long in. Where would you, if the trade you take is going to lose, and you're deciding between 2 or 3, sometimes just ask yourself, hey, if I take this setup and it loses, which one does not look acceptable to me? And that's a good way to parse between A, B, and C setups for you. Trying to make the absolute low on a downward trending stock versus buying a higher low and trying to join the trend. I'm telling you, 99 times out of 100, we know which one we should be doing. Not all the time, because sometimes the wipeout bottom is so big because of the spike down. Fair enough. But this wasn't any flash crash. This was like structure down for a lot of the market. Like, this is trend down. Like, it's not catastrophic single candle or two. This is just general downtrend trading on what was, for the market, it seemed like chop, but it was just small downtrending day. So if you can find the relative strength, you make your life a heck of a lot easier, everybody. So I'll leave you with that pretty simple lesson of the day. And shout out to Joe. That's something we literally were talking about this morning. What would you, if you had to lose, which direction would you prefer to lose on that stock that day? And I'd rather lose if I'm joining the trend than fighting it. Let's throw you guys back to the midday. We got Joey Options killing it all day long, the professor, and I'm going to get back to this lunch, which was not a Power Bowl. It was just a plate full of chicken, potatoes, and a salad like normal. So no Power Bowl. whatever. And it's a lot of chicken, so we get a lot of protein, but it's pretty dry. Can't win them all.
Apple. Not a massive story, but I want to mention this here. It has to do with the EU and their app store. So they've overhauled their EU app store terms. They had a core technology fee. That's gone. Instead, they now have a 5% core technology commission on digital transactions completed outside of the app store. So that's a 26% commission for app store apps using in-app purchases through Apple, 20% for app store apps using alternative payment processing, and then 15% for app store apps that link out to complete purchases. This is going to take effect as of October 1st. They're also expanding eligibility to operate alternative app marketplaces or distribute apps via the web in the EU. So new EU terms here for AAPL. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, how the market reacts to this, but we're going to send you back over to the midday in the meantime.
Thank you for that, Adara. We'll go through that story a little bit in more detail. VinFast, guys, reported strong Q2 momentum. They delivered more than 70,000 EVs globally. Guys, that is a ridiculous 96% year-over-year increase. And first half deliveries actually reached 129,000 vehicles, up 78%. And that reinforces the company's growth trajectory across its expanding EV portfolio. And guys, by mid-year, VinFast had already achieved approximately 43% of both its 2026 4W and 2W delivery targets. And that puts the company firmly on track across all their growth engines. Shout out to VinFast. Casey, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what Casey's talking
Just
about.
because I'm telling her she's delayed. I'm just speaking out facts. Like 5 minutes later, she puts into the chat, Cass got into the high of the day. How about you, you're going to make it on.
Short on SpaceX. I think she's saying I'm being mean to her because the Jays beat the Yankees and I won't let
That's
her.
your fault, Joey.
It is all my fault that,
Right?
that we're better.
Why don't you just remind her what we did to them in the postseason?
Oh, what
last year?
happened there?
Yeah,
What
we'll
happened there,
remind her. The
Casey?
ass whooping that they got. What was it? Was it 3 games or was it 4 games that we dispatched the Yankees in last playoffs? Yankee lose!
And the Yankee
lose! I love you,
So
Casey.
New
Just
York,
joking,
man. I'm posted. I know you got a lot going on here,
We
but
got to
I'm-
thank Casey for the 20 membership she dropped during Neil's lesson of the day.
Oh, did
I
she?
mean, if we don't, thank you very much, Case. Always. And we're just joking.
too,
of course,
Casey.
but appreciate you, Case.
Yeah, you know we love you, girl.
Get it, Casey.
Shreve, yeah, okay, we're gonna drop those here. I'll list them out there, Shreve. I'll do the
Yeah,
honor this
man,
time
do
because I know
your
you
thing,
were
bro.
consistently doing 20.
What's
I don't know
that
how long ago it was, and if I can scroll up
You
that
can
long.
scroll.
But Casey, man, always on a roll.
Always.
All right, Sar Pose. All right, you got one there.
She's
John,
dunking on us.
Show, you got one. Dominus.
Shohei
Dominus
Ohtani?
Rex. Dominus Dank.
I think it's
okay.
Shohei.
No, it's Dominus Dank.
Block him, Joey.
Dominus Dank?
No, I don't know.
But remember, did you ever use the term dank?
Yeah, of course.
But he's
of
had
course.
one thinking of
If you were from
Decollate.
Southern Ontario, you use
that's
the term
crazy.
dank.
Austin THCS, the Maximus Prime X, a couple more here, Bogdan, Capital, and John Cortez. You guys all received Sharif's Daily Note monthly membership too, so thank you all for that. Man, oh no, there goes Apple. I'll take a page out of your book, and there goes Apple. Unfortunately, we didn't get that post up, but Gorb, hopefully you took an additional attempt on this one, man. Oh, I was waiting so long for it, and now off to the races it goes. Beautiful hammer candle right at the volume weighted average price. So yeah, we missed that one, but that's all right. There's gonna be plenty more opportunities. Also, I want to be more selective because last week was definitely one of my tougher weeks. Every day green, and then 3 out of the 5 we finished red. Giving back the majority of our gains, that is bad practice. I talked about this on multiple occasions. Apple looking pretty good here. Ladies and gentlemen, done for the day, no more trades. I love hearing that, Gorb. Walk away, take the money and run, but there will be a couple more trades because Shrif's been cleaning up on that one. Glad to see that. It's been looking pretty good. SpaceX started to pull back in here. I know my boy Juan. Juan's been short. Yeah, he's been short that one. Let's see if we're going to continue to the south side. There on the 1 minute time frame, there is some indecision. I just don't know how much this is going to hold up before we continue and completely fill in this gap down that we experienced from overnight in this morning.
All right, got in at cast, scalped up into the low 170s. It's breaking structure. That's the end of that for me. We'll stop out for a 2-penny loss on the remaining amount there, but still positive on it, looking for a little bit more. We're going to keep a close eye here on CAST, but I got to tell you, now that cast is kind of in this pullback formation, I guess, I'm not liking anything. I like this one. I'm calling this one Egypt because it's EYPT, so just missing the G there. But it's got a flat top break brewing here. What's that, Neil? Neil, I'm going to have to give these ones names, man. We gave Plague, PLAG a name. You know, that's just what we do around here, Neil. 540, I feel flat top break brewing here on EYPT. Don't type EGYPT. It's not going to come up, but it says EYPT. 540 flat top break. Of course, we've been up to 549, but that was during the implied balance high on volume. So, you know, I don't usually use that as the level. Moreover, the candle did not close above 540. It was a quick liquidity grab, and then we kind of actually sold off into 515 there. But this one's feeling flat top breaky. If I can build a position into possibly $0.33, maybe somewhere around there, that would be cool. IPST, look, it's a downtrend. It remains a downtrend. There's been no break or change in structure. Moreover, I don't want to say the long is valid above 18. Take a gander at what we did at the 1135 candle. Not only did we break 19, man, we got to 1889, essentially almost a 19 pop, and then look what happened. We lost trend all the way down to 14 1/3. So, you know, IPST, I'm going to view it through a suspicious lens until it gives me a reason to feel otherwise. So I'm not liking anything right now. I see what Rex Banner is saying. He's like, look, IPST is moving again. But as I just explained, brother, you know, I feel that it is still in a bit of a downtrend. It's got a great looking bull flag pattern here with a bit of a downward channel, completely normal behavior for a stock like this. But if I'm going to trade it intraday, I got to have, you know, that AA plus setup. So we're going to wait for that to come in. So CD, all right, I see
CD
you, girl.
Lamb.
She's got all these ones that don't pop up on my scanner. Is CDTG popping up on your scanner?
No. Oh, yeah, it is. 51% market
Okay,
cap.
it is not pop. Well,
No, but Sharif, look at, is your volume, see mine?
so this
switched up.
one's done on the day, options man, 7.5 million shares. I only have a requirement of 1 million. So it should be showing up. And I have a price of 25 pennies.
Okay.
So I don't know why these ones are not showing up on my scanner, but, you know, I think I might just delete this scanner and kind of
Just do it all, start it all over. Well, you know your criteria, so may as well just throw it up there.
So thank you, Case. As always, CDTG, thank you for pointing that one out, Case. Here it is, Assassino. Let's go ahead, throw in the ticker there so everybody can follow along. As I mentioned, about 7.5, in fact, exactly 7.5 million shares of volume. So it's got ample amount of volume. You like that one, look? Or are you looking at SSPC?
No, what KC said.
What happened? Pretty sure I'm your scanner. Calm down there, Bubin. I mean, Casey.
God.
430 flat top break. I'm thinking on this one, despite the fact that it's been above that 459, it feels like a lot of the closing prints reject at 430. So, you know, I like this one a lot. Let's see if we can set up on this one. 439, 440. This one looks real good, Case. Thanks for pointing this one out. Come on, that was a joke. Yeah. Cast also breaking down. Very pleased with my out on that one as it dips into 130. Keep your eye out on IPST and the one that Case just called out, CDTG options, man.
CD Lamb. Oh, Mike Peter Ryder, how have you been? I was out on the water. I know you talk about the land lubbers all the time. But yeah, we were out on the water this weekend, Mike.
How was that, Joey?
Great, man. You know I'm a
Bubba's in the house.
The way of water. All right, let's get involved here just in case. If SpaceX breaks the high of the day, this would be putting SSPC at the low of the day. Don't forget this is an inverse ETF, ladies and gentlemen, so let's just keep an eye on this. Why is there nothing on my time and sales on this one? That's not necessarily the case. We'll hit it again. We'll hit the refresh. But yeah, it's still not displaying anything. All right, well, that's good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. On that there, oh no, NVDA heading lower, SpaceX heading higher, going inverse on this one, not necessarily the play that we want. Let's see if this signal holds up. There was a big engulfing print here. Again, I'm not giving this one much room. We'll be patient just in case there is no complete gap fill, but I mentioned not too long ago that at this pace there will be a move up into 4150. and I just believe that I might be on the wrong side of things right now. So good thing we start relatively small, nothing crazy from a share standpoint. Looking for a move back into 143, but at this pace, we might be on the wrong side of the trade.
Ooh.
What do you have for us here?
Goes in.
Let's take a look at what's going on in the small cap segment over here. IWM is currently down 1% on the day. Two tickers I have for you, that's the wrong ticker, AMLX. That's up over 48% on the day. The company's drug, avexitide, has cut low blood sugar episodes by 55% in bariatric surgery patients in a key trial, which is what is causing this insane momentum. It's up over 48% on the day, now almost 49%. KLIC, however, is having another story, is down 10% on the day. Company has changed its leadership as of late yesterday and has appointed Dr. Raj Talluri as president and CEO. So a little bit, I looked into him and what he did before. So previously, he'd been the senior VP and general manager of Micron's mobile business unit, prior to being senior VP and general manager of Qualcomm's IoT business unit and general manager of the imaging and audio business at Texas Instruments. So KLIC is down 10% on the day, and AMLX up over 48%.
There goes CDTG, Bovin. We're in here. 435, we got several scalps up into the, I want to say, high 40s, low 50s. I want to defend, though, because I see this kind of consolidation level between 4 to 4.25. So,
Bless me.
Bless you, homie. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I got to tell you, right off the bat, I'm not pleased with the spread on CDTG. It was showing like 45s on the ask and like low 30s on the bid. So it was hard to get the print there, but it did price spike up into the $1.50, or sorry, the $4.50 area. So let's see what we get on this one. It feels like it might be an accumulating here for a move into 5, how it gets there and kind of how the spread acts as the volume picks up. We'll have to wait and see. 445 showing up. I've got a pretty lofty profit taker here near the high of the day. The high of the day is 459. So I'm just, putting a liquidity tester in and around that area to see what kind of aggressive selling, profit taking, and short selling may come in at that level. That's something that I always do with a very small size, just to give me an idea of what to expect when I do post the larger sized order there. So keeping an eye on this one, Joe. Let's see what CDTG has to offer.
All right, man, good stuff. As SpaceX is putting in almost a new intraday high, entering the gap fill. Excuse me. 150 is that next major resistance zone. Let's actually pull up our options chain one to see if we have anything working in our favor. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. What I'm seeing from a price action standpoint on the 5-minute time frame, I don't love our probabilities. I went into the detail of the 1 minute, but it's not looking too good. Here's SpaceX expiring on the 21st. Where's all the size gone? Oh, yeah, that's right. All the way up here, 145. There might be some size, 18,000 contracts. Let's hold off there just in case. There goes the new high of the day. We're breaking through those lows. We're going to add a little bit more if price action decides to turn around. But if the market decides that it wants to recover, we have to be prepared to get out of the trade as well. Adara.
Keep an eye here on AMZN. Now, it's worth noting this was announced over an hour ago, but the state in which this is happening just officially announced it like 13 minutes ago. So I just want to mention this here. AMZN in focus. They're growing their Northwest Louisiana planned investment from $12 billion to $18 billion with their Shreveport, Louisiana campus. Again, Amazon announced this at least an hour ago, but Louisiana's economic development website officially just posted this, so I want to put that out there. I'm seeing it circulate on social media again as well. A little bit of a bounce here on AMZN. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Adara. Let's pull up our watch list and see what we got going on. Base, turnaround, ace of base, and then sure enough, bang, we'll add a little bit more to this position just for a key pivot, right? If we get some form of a move and a pullback here, then that's going to be my out. I'm not expecting some full retracement play, but I think it'd been significantly easier if we just gone with the flow. Now, we're not going to hold on to this for too long, just in case we do want to completely fill that gap, and that's the path that we're currently on. 12 cents until we hit that 145 marker. That's going to be a key pivotal moment here for SpaceX to see if you're going to get any form of a move back in. And right now, it's not looking necessarily 5 cents away. There it goes, 145.18, Sharif. Oh man, it's getting ugly here for the short. Should have just went with the flow. Oh my God. Anyways, aside from that, it's neither here nor there. Let's see if we can mitigate some risk.
Yeah, stopped out on CDTG, lost trend through 4. I tried to add into that $4 area for a hold. There was no support there. It just kind of blew through it. Where it is finding support, though, generally is right at that 10 EMA on the 5 at around 3 mid-80s, but it's out to 4. So I want this one to set up in a bit of a better way. I'm not really liking the way it's looking at the moment. So we're going to let that one go. We give back a little bit, even though we did take some profits there into the highs. It was by far the minority as opposed to the majority of the position. So we'll continue to watch, see if anything else comes up on the scanner. But great question, VV. I don't know, brother. I use this scanner right here. It's served me well for many years, and now it's not showing me certain names. Today, there's been 2 names that I didn't have eyes on that the chat called out. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Typically, the one that I use is top percentage gainers. Now, it may be differently named depending on what platform you're using. So that's top percentage gainers there. And then I filter by price and by volume. So I kind of insist that it does 1 million shares on the day and be trading above 25 pennies. So those are the only 2 filters that I use. And then you can kind of go through which exchanges you want to scan for. So I do everything except the OTCs and the pinks. We'll just let that, can't trade everything. So that's what I got there. It's a pretty simple scanner. What I do like to kind of customize are the columns that I have. So I have a bunch of columns. I'll just talk about them. I have change percentage, gap percentage, and change since open percentage, which is supposed to be here. So change percentage is essentially from, if it broke out in the aftermarket yesterday, it'll populate from 4:01 p.m. If it broke out in the pre-market, it'll populate from 4:01 a.m. That's change percentage column. And then the change percentage since open is from essentially 9:30 onwards. And then the gap percentage is the gap relative to the closing price yesterday. Volume here, I have 3 different volume bars. I got the regular volume bar, the average volume of the name on a rolling 1-year basis, as well as the short-term 5-minute volume. The reason I have 3 different volume columns is to give me an idea, number 1, how many shares we're doing relative to the average, so I can assess our vol, relative volume. And then the short-term volume gives me an idea if the volume is coming in now or came in previously without having to load it up and analyze it. It gives me a quick cursory view respecting that. Then I've got float, shortable shares, and spread. Float just tells me exactly how many shares are available for trade on the market. The lower, the better for my trading style. I know some people won't touch low floats. That's their prerogative. I like them because it allows for more parabolic moves, which is what I'm going for. And then the shortable shares is really specific to IBKR. It gives me an idea whether or not this is easy to borrow. And the reason I want to assess whether it's easy to borrow is that sometimes it's a very thick trade, a very tough trade to the high side when it's easy to borrow because, well, the shorts, they needn't locate shares too short because they can just punch in because the exchange has it available for them. It's kind of like shorting Apple. And you don't really need to borrow shares to short Apple. So it gives me an idea of whether I want to get into the trade or not. And then the spread shows me immediately without pulling up the chart or the level 2, I should say. But what the spread is so I can make an educated guess if this is something that fits my wheelhouse. And then last but not least, the column there is the range. So the green columns obviously means that it's trading up since the open. And the farther the column goes to the right, that indicates how close or at it is to the high of the day. By the same token, the opposite side, if it's red, it means it's down since the open. And the more left the red column is, means it's trading towards the low of the day. So that just gives me a very, very quick visual reference when it comes to these small cap gappers. It served me well, but I don't know why it's not showing up certain names anymore. Oh, here, it's decided to show up. CDTG on the bottom there.
Well, after you just bashed it for a couple of days.
Well, what am I supposed to do? It wasn't doing its job, my guy.
Someone asked you, I know you've been going over, but someone just asked you for your criteria of the scan. There's no specific name to it. You have to customize it, which I believe is around anything over a quarter, 25 cents, that is a million shares, and then market cap greater or less than. So
my man.
I just want to retest 145. Yeah, like I'm getting prepared. So look at this trend line here, Juan. I mean, boom. See, bouncing right off it again. So I mean, it's completely strong. We're going counter trend here, which isn't necessarily great. Apple was definitely the play that I wanted. 309.46. Why aren't we just re-engaging? But if this trend line breaks, then maybe it's going to be a different narrative here. What an absolute chop fest. Need us go back into, we'll go to a larger time frame. How's that? And just see how the SPY and the Nasdaq have been performing. Look at this, all the way from last week. Just some of these intraday sessions have not been fun to participate in. You do have a couple of days late last month where you just go on a nice run here. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we've just been trading within this range. And shout out to all my Iron Condor traders who have been getting involved. If you zoom out and see what the market has been doing for the past, since, what is it, August 4th, right? So just sideways, sideways, sideways. And same thing with the Nasdaq. And this is the only major average that hasn't put in that all-time high, right? So you tap into the all-time highs on this one, and then now you're starting to come back in. Neil and I are going to be talking to Brian Shannon, and he's thinking of maybe here 760. I know.
Okay, so
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm going. Yeah.
So you already know where I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, of course.
You have to.
Of course. Yeah, I know. I
Good
have
for
to.
you.
Well, what I was going to do
Because you need him.
I do.
Think about what I said.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't know a third though.
Don't worry. They will find a third for you.
30?
That's they do that.
Is that
just
their
getting good with him is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I hope that's
Yeah.
the case. So I'm more than happy to discuss him with that. I was also going to.
I think he'll get pumped, dude. They get really
with
pumped
more
when-
people joining the association, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
You feel me.
I'm really pumped.
I'm pumped for you. I'm
really
annoyed
excited.
because I'm going to have to do it now because there's no way this guy's going to do it and dunk on me every day.
I'm not going to dunk on you every day.
Yeah, he will.
Man.
100% he will. I'll be like, what are you talking about? This is not what they said.
Everybody. No, there's
That's
no
not gonna
way.
happen.
I'm not that type of person, man.
Nah, play
It's
it off.
but watch out. No, I'm not. We don't want to show too. We like to hold our cards close to our chest. Yeah. Go ahead.
CDTG is ripping into the high of the day. We got 16s. I doubled my position on this one, and we're looking for more. We just took out the high of the day. No, excuse me. It was south of 50. The high of the day is 59. We're having trouble with 50, but we did get above it, I think, momentarily. There's 50 again. Looking for a big price spike up. I want to see that $0.50 clear and clear decidedly here. And look at that 49 seller, that bugger. There's a lot of resistance at the $0.50 here on CDTG, but it is setting up for a possible flat top break. A lot of rejections into 4.5. So the short here, they better be convicted and they better have some money because I think the longs are coming after them here. So a lot of rejections at 4.5. Let's see who wins this out. Let's go up to the big desk.
The SPY is currently down over 0.5%. Let's take a look quickly at the sectors here. Electric tech, you have NVIDIA down 2.4%. Broadcom is down 3%, followed by chip names INTC, AMD, MU, TXN, SNDK, all continuing to slide towards the downside, past the 5.5% mark here. Tech services, you have Google and Microsoft that are flat on the day, followed by Amazon and retail trade also joining the trio flat on the day. But in tech services, you have Meta that is down 3%. We heard about the trial earlier in the morning that we might discuss in the news segment as well. Netflix is up over 3.5%, and IBM up 1.5% at the same time. You have CRM up 3.5%. Finance, BRKB, Visa, MasterCard showing relative strength, but Robinhood is down close to 3.5% on the day. MSGS, WFC, and Citi downside closed 2.1% on the day, but JPM, BAC, and AXP all flat. Retail trade, you also have Walmart, Costco, and Home Depot maintaining a bit of a good momentum here that are up over 1.5%, but Home Depot is currently inching closer to 8%. We did see the report from Home Depot as well that we will discuss in the news segment. Producer manufacturing, names that are leading this sector board are down. LRCX, AMET, CAD, GEV, all down on the day. Consumer non-durables, you're seeing a bit of green across the sectors. Pretty good, not a bad look. KO, PM, and PEP and PG up on the day. Health tech as well. Lilly and J&J are up Not so bad here. Lilly close to 3%, J&J close to 3.5%, ABBV up above 3%, and Amgen is up 1.5%. Energy minerals are strong as well today, as is USO, not too strong, but it is not down as well. XOM up 2%, CVX up 1%. Tesla, however, in consumer durables, not having the best of the days. It's down 0.5% right now. But utilities, process industries, health services, just like every other time, as I say, and distribution, bit of a mixed sentiment over here. And in transportation, finally, Uber up 2%, Dash up 4%, but FedEx down, with UAL down 2% as well.
Down. Here we go.
It's pretty. It's so pretty. We go with
Boom. Into the high of the day we go. CDTG 474 HOD. We got 16s. We're looking now for 88. Shout out to my man CD.
Ooh.
Let me get Neil in here for a second.
Oh, you got
Neil,
Von
apparently
Miller.
the Cowboys are going to be really good this year. They're better. Oh my God, Neil said they're. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear it, man.
I can't believe the words that came out of his
What do you
mouth.
say?
He said they're better.
They're
He's
better than
never
before?
said anything positive about the Cowboys as long as I can remember. Because there's my man. Dude, because I have a guy, full disclosure, I've been really just locked down with soccer, so I haven't really been following too much, to be honest with you, what the Cowboys are doing. So I talked to my buddy at the gym. He's like, man, are you looking at some of the picks that we have? Like, our top 3 picks are all on defense. One's on the defensive line, one is a defensive back, and one is a linebacker. And apparently, they touched, but that's every single area. You got cornerback, well, a back. I don't know if he's a cornerback. Boom! Into the high CDTG. We take it out at 88s. So he's like, have you been following what's going on with the Cowboys? I'm like, not really. Are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I saw the game against Seattle. We looked okay, but he's like, yo, we are actually a contender. So I'm like, all right, let me look this up, right? And then, we might have something here, man. We might have something, but Zion, I'm going to read that in a second, man. Hold on. There goes CDTG through $5 into 504. This one's on its horse. We're done this trade. There's another high a day. 508, 510 now is the high. Here we go. It's 80% in the Ville of Green. We're looking now for a re-entry. I like 460 to 440 if it gives me that opportunity. Of course, it has to pull back a little bit, but I don't like to hold through or add into 5. 5 to me is a critical area of resistance in the same way that I say 10 is. I could be completely wrong about that. Let's see what this one has to offer. Let me see now what the people are saying about the Cowboys.
Yeah, see what your boy
Dallas
said.
Cow. I can't say that
See
word.
what your
Thank
boy,
you, Scotty
See what
Supreme.
your boy said, Joey O.
Joey O. Where am I?
Joey.
Cowboys fans are as delusional as Leaf fans. Let me tell you something. We won the Super Bowl way sooner than the Leafs have ever
When was the
won.
last time? No, because
93.
I think was it okay?
95.
So that's
95.
Fair.
What am I saying? 95 was the last time there. So
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. You have that. You can dunk.
I'll stay
You can dunk.
delusional.
You can dunk.
Zion, Cowboys think they are America's team. It was the Patriots. Brady, the GOAT, retired now. Yeah, I know. They call them. They call themselves, the new America's team. But we could just do one quick thing here, Joe Opsh.
What's up, buddy?
Let's pull it up.
do we
Assassino,
do?
let's
What do we-
pull this up over
What are we
here.
pulling up?
Don't worry about it. Let's go sports franchises.
Yeah.
Franchises by value. Can't type today.
Oh, okay.
Let's
But
see.
what are we gonna do? You're gonna dunk on?
Oh, yeah, I am going to dunk. It's just not even close.
Holy cow!
Because it's not even close.
It's not even close. man.
$15.5 billion valuation
Wow.
for the Cowboys. And then you got the Lakers. Why are the Lakers on there? Oh, my days. I
What?
heard
What do you
she-
mean?
I heard she apparently there was.
I heard it's not
some
true, though.
Some rumors that she was looking to sell and she's trying to block.
She said it's not.
Say
true.
that again, Adara. Come in if you can.
To clarify, so when I read this story, I already
Yeah.
thought it was weird because Jeannie Buss is so pro Laker, so she's not looking to sell.
She's not. That's
Bob
what I heard,
Iger
yeah.
and Kushner, not Jared, his brother Josh, they want to work together to buy the Lakers, I think, for just above $12 billion. Apparently, some of her other siblings, because she's got a plethora of siblings, are willing to sell. Jeannie's not. She's reportedly trying to block the sale. we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, the second I heard that, something smelled to me.
Yeah, that's what I heard in the morning. I heard that she wasn't interested in selling. And you got the Warriors 11.5, but this is only
really
US.
The Warriors are wow. Look what happens
this is
when
only US right here.
look what happens
Premier
when
League teams
no, there's
here,
no
my
way,
guy.
man. The Leafs are around probably
Toronto Raptors are 48th. Hey, whatever, bro. So
They're 48th.
the Raptors, yeah.
They're worth $4 billion.
Somehow they're more
5.4
expensive than the Leafs. Where's
Yeah,
the
the Leafs are only worth
There's
$2 billion,
United.
man.
Okay, so the Premier League teams are there. So
They're
you
doing
have
big.
United at 6.6, Real Madrid 6.75. I thought Madrid was a lot higher. Look at the amount of NFL
It's all
teams.
NFL.
The Yankees are there. So they're the number one. It's NBA.
Yeah.
For those two. Then almost all NFL. The Knicks are actually more valuable than the Yankees. That to me is a bit of a shock there.
You think
Really?
so?
Well, that's what they're saying. 8.2. You don't think the Yankees?
No,
I don't know.
I think basketball is a little bit more popular.
That's fair.
in New York.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Than baseball.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is right there.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
you know, we're-
Yeah, well, the Leafs are only worth $2 billion. Look, wait, see, like you would never think the Golden State Warriors were up there, but that's what happens when you become a dynasty, right? That you just go absolutely. And then they also moved to San Francisco. I'm pretty
No,
sure
they
out
did,
of Oakland.
Who
Bay.
are we talking about?
The Warriors.
The Warriors. Yeah, of course.
Come on.
Yeah. With that new stadium, right?
Yeah, with that new
That new
stadium. So
stadium.
it's just poor old Oakland.
Let's read some of these comments, Joey, because we were talking stuff. Over
Might have to get out of this SpaceX trade here, though.
Cowboys are dog water, says Farm Trader. Oh boy. Nimit, let's talk. Let's ask Joe about his long weekend. I'm sure he will have an interesting story. I'm sure he does. We'll get to that, I guess.
There's nothing really interesting about
You were
it.
canoeing, no?
No, we were on the paddle board. We were
Paddleboard,
jumping
that's
in the
it.
water
Okay.
and stuff. Yeah, we were just enjoying the outdoors.
You got a little bit of a tan.
Yeah, it was, Saturday was beautiful, man. We were
Amazing,
outside swimming and walking around all day.
All right. Ticker, you just made the point, Sharif. You don't like the Lakers, I know. Scott, Sharif and Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for $140 million. How about that ROI, bro? That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
And you know that, like, he bought it because he wanted to be closer to his children. Like, he wanted to get them involved in the biz or whatever. He was an oil man, right? There was that whole documentary. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I kind of liked it. I have a lot of issues with Jerry Jones, right? I think he's just too hands-on, and we haven't won anything. So, I mean, it's just like if I come in and trade every day, right? And I don't do well in the trades. Like at some point here, we need to move on, especially if you're a fan. You want to see it. Here comes CDTG. Here comes back above 5. There's a 5 seller here again. There's been that 5 seller all day, despite the fact that we've been above it into 510. There it goes, 505, 57. Watch for a bigger move here. Oops. Here we go, 511. This one's on its horse. Let's see if we can get in here while the zigging and the zagging is going on. It looks like it might be dropping a little bit here, so we're going to go ahead and post, lest this one turn on me. 518 seller, we're looking for more. Boom, into the high, 25s, all out. Looking for 533, big move down here. Looking for a defend of 5, 25, 27. Looking for a bigger spike into the third of a dollar. It feels like a lot of profit taking at this level. So going to wet the beak here just in case this one does drop below 5. Looking for a hold up here, 8 buyer.
Hold up.
Yeah, hold up. So sorry, guys, just have to digress. As CDTG, the price action waits for nobody. Back into 25, 28. Oh, my days. Right into the high, 43. We've got 14s on right now. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post at 49. So actually, I'm going to put it a little bit below 49. That has been a problem as of late. So we'll post it at 47. We're looking for a holdup, though, of the quarter dollar, and we're not getting that, man. Buyer at the 5th. This is going to fail, it feels like here, Joey, so I got to be quick with the keys. What do you say?
All right, good stuff, man. I should have hopped out of this SpaceX trade right here. I was just looking for a little bit more of a risk to reward, but as soon as this 5-minute hammer candle printed, that's my green light to get out. So let's see if we curl over now, starting to enter this gap. Looking for this 145 pressure to slowly uptick, and that's going to be via the derivatives market, right? So I want to see some of these hedges push price down, but that's not what we're seeing right now. It looks like they want to absorb it and allow these contracts, the short side of things, to go underwater, which is totally fine. We just get out of the position. Good thing we're not too heavy, right? So, I mean, we did give it back a little bit of the day trading cast. That's fine. Let's see if we can get some of this back now. I mean, the risk reward is going to be significantly more difficult from this point. So we come back to this key pivot. What we do have is a bunch of lower highs being established. So 1034, I think, is really important to note. If we don't break that and establish a new one, then I might have to take it for a smaller loss. Now, moving forward, let's head back over to our scan. I'm not seeing anything. My missed opportunity was on Apple here today for that reload. It treated us really well today. Definitely a monster of a trade. Would have liked to have a little bit more, man. These dark pool wicks will get to you sometimes. So what we can do is we'll edit here. We'll edit it momentarily. But the reload right at the volume weighted average price on Apple was my green light to go. Instead, we decided to mess around with SpaceX. Let's not do that. Rather, the Neo hit that one right on the head. May as well stick to our guns, and things that have been working for us, just go back. Regardless if it doesn't, it's just putting probability in your favor. As soon as you take one dark pool wick off, another one appears, which is kind of unfortunate. But aside from that, I mean, like, it's crazy. 308, and then boom, off to the races it goes. Now printing 310.46. Let's see if we get this pullback here. Multiple indecision prints at the highs. NVDA has been a pretty choppy mess. I'm going to be looking to buy some more at the low teens, and the Nasdaq and SPY, very, very stagnant in my opinion. There's somewhat of a direction, but you just come back. The ebb and flow within the market is most definitely there, and surprisingly so, the volatility has cooled down. So we have a high of the day of around $722 on the Nasdaq and $716. All right, so that's a $6 ATR, daily ATR, I should say, so far on the triple Qs, which isn't crazy, right? We've seen it move a little bit more than that from a day-to-day basis, but things starting to cool down. I'm not going to call the market frothy or anything along those lines, but it does feel like we're going to consolidate up here for some time. And we're at the end of earnings season. There's only one more big name to report. After that, price action can get pretty ugly, if you ask me, Shreve, because you have those individual catalysts. There's nothing from a fundamental standpoint, crazy fundamental standpoint, that I should say, that's going to impact the overall market.
All right, just before we go to Money Talks, guys, see as we're locked and loaded, I just want to remind everybody, guys, that Fabian is doing something that I think is awfully noble and great. He's cutting his hair for kids, and he wants to do it by the 28th of August. We want to raise about $5,000. He plans on donating his hair to a child going through chemotherapy. I think that that's as noble as it gets. So if we could help him reach his target of $5,000, we're right at there. We're almost at $2,500, so we're basically 50% right now. I want to thank Edward Clark for, say it again? 5,000 is actually halfway. Got it. In the description, he says 10 grand. So 10,000 isn't a number I picked because it sounds big. It's for kids. And my 28 inches goes as multiple full-length ponytails, all of it coming off when we hit the goal. So yeah, do you want to, there's more pictures over here, Fabian. You put plenty, there he is. Get it, my man. So guys, point is, we'd love for you guys to help us out reaching our goal. I think Fabian's doing a great job here, and I obviously want to shout him out. So that's why we're calling this out here. So any support we can get from you guys, we'll be awfully thankful. And with that, let's send it up to Sia.
So long-term borrowing costs from the United States to Germany and Japan have hit their highest levels as of today due to the increase in government debt, yes, you're right, and geopolitics, which also seem to have raised these borrowing costs for companies and households, also complicating certain policies here. But let's take a look at the dollar and what is doing right now, currently super flat on the day. The DXY is trading around the $99.4 region.
All right, good
guys, I just got questions in the chat. Fabian is donating his hair to 4 children who are going through chemotherapy. He is not getting paid $10,000 to cut his hair. No, we wouldn't be advertising for that. So that's what we're talking about there, guys. Hope you all can help. PSIG is moving, says Bhavin. PSIG. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. What is this doing? Okay. Awfully light vol. 962,000 shares, 165 high, dropping into 145 now. I see this. All right. Let's wait for this to develop a little bit more. And, if the price action holds up, we'll get involved. But right now, it's a little bit light on vol. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it onto the side chart so that it updates. Otherwise, it just stays stagnant. So PSIG, the ticker showing 141. Let's see if the volume holds up, the price action holds up. Absolutely, we'll be interested in jumping into it if it's going to hold up. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now, Joey. But CDTG moving down. I tried to add there into about 4 mid-80s, got stopped out 75. So we did give back 10 pennies on that latest defend. But hey, it broke down and we didn't chase it. I'm not going to be adding into a loser, but I do like this 4.5 area, right? Because this is the 4.5 area we were talking about as a flat top break. Just look at I'll bring in the black chart here. It displays it a little bit better. So this is kind of like the former area of resistance where we kept saying topping tail candles coming into, and now we're holding up at least on a 2 candle basis right around 4.5. So what I'd wait for is a new candle to open up, breach prior candle high, and then working your way that way. So that's what I'm looking at there, Joe.
All right, good stuff. Oh, and if you donate, you get a receipt for taxes also stated in there as well. SpaceX absolutely going nuts right here. So we got out of SSPC, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get out of Dodge on that one. Never got the recovery that we're looking for. So, I mean, we're not going to hold on to this here whatsoever. Bang to the downside on that one. SpaceX to the nice at 146. Watch out for this gap to be filled. Man, oh, man, there's a couple of good opportunities. It looks like we might have to get involved in some NVDA, Sharif. Amazon heading right back towards the high of the day. A curl over in Apple. Can the Nasdaq find its way? But 146 and counting on SpaceX. Things are looking pretty good. Shout out to Los Pollos. $4 or $5 in the $6. You said you were long from 140. So congratulations to you. Complete gap fill. As soon as we entered it, it was off to the races. Now where's that next resistance zone going to fall into? 147. That they chewed up that 145 size. It was see you later. As Shree would say, eliminated now at this point. Now, what I'm going to be looking for is this previous pivot high at 149.82. It's no coincidence, folks. $149.86. We have that $150 supply zone via the option chain derivatives. We've rejected that. Same thing with the Nasdaq yesterday and NVDA at $227. I'm like, man, oh man, we're going to be running into some trouble if we don't break that. If the momentum doesn't really pick up in NVDA, and then sure enough, bright and early this morning, I don't know. I think there's a couple of things that kind of correlated with the chip sell-off here. We have that Jane Street with that investment in the chip startup, which could be, I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be, but 189.15. Why couldn't you just give me that? Instead, it's just absolutely painstaking. Our average here on this swing is 210. We're just going to continuously build up onto this position, man. It's been doing fantastic for us, and we're going to continue to do so until we surpass that all-time high. I have a target. Actually, Sia was talking about a potential increase as well. I could probably pull that up for us right now and see what we got going on from NVDA standpoint. $315 price target. Listen, Sharif said 55%. Who says this?
What happened, Joey?
You ready for this?
Yeah, I am, man.
NVIDIA stock has 55% upside. Analyst said, Sia brought us this one this morning. What'd you say?
I saw that.
You saw that one? Yeah, I know, man. Like Bank of B of A, man. What kind of nonsense are you guys? A $350 price target. But I'll tell you one thing right now, and this is my opinion, completely subjective. I do believe that NVDA needs to buy back a substantial amount of shares in order for this name to have cleaner price action. Until then, it's the largest float out on the market, Sharif, and with that, it's not enough power in the hands of the company.
Well, they're becoming like the AI bank. I was talking about that yesterday, especially with that backstop. Dude, they're guaranteeing a lot of stuff here. Like they're acting as guarantor in so many different scenarios, whether it's for a lease or money being fronted to go ahead and purchase these GPUs. And I did like what he did there. If you're looking at it from his perspective, and by his talking about Jensen, you need people to buy your products, right? That's the only way you're going to keep growing that top line. Well, how are you going to do that when you have the hyperscalers going into the debt market in order to be able to do that? So what you do, you get the biggest banks around, which is what he did. You bring him on a round table like he did at CNBC, and you kind of announce it to the whole world that that's what you're doing. So I like that from his perspective. I don't like, of course, the circularity of some of the as an investor. I don't like some of the circularity of the business model, but just from Jensen's own perspective to kind of keep the boat afloat, he's doing, I think, all the right things. But whether or not the banks continue to subsidize this hand over fist. We're going to have to wait and see. All right, continuing to watch here, CDTG looking for a move above 587s, showing up big seller here at 87, causing the spread to open up. We did get one profit taker, 89 now, 94, looking for more. Looking for a big move above 595, 501, 510. Beautiful entry here. There we go. We're looking for a little bit more, though, man. We're looking for a 5.5. We got a 543 high. We're right back above 5. What do we have on 79s? That's not even that good. We need a lot more room from the current price action in our entry to kind of feel safe with this one, because this has been all over the map. So CDTG. Let's see if it can mosey on above 5 on both the bid and the ask. I'm looking for, low double digits here. There it is, options, man. Taking out all my orders. Oh, baby. Now we're waiting at 525, the best day of the year. Let's go. Sorry, Case. There we go. Here we go, 527. There we go. Now we're looking for 535. Want a little bit more now. Looking for a bigger move into that 5.5. That is what I'm looking for here. So we're not getting it quite yet. But I think that there is a good amount of distance now between the current price action and my entry to kind of relax a little bit here and, not be super quick on the keys, allow it to kind of develop a little bit more, Joey.
That's crazy. Cheese balls, $2 super chat. First Joey, now Fabian. Keep up the donations. Yes.
Oh,
everyone contribute, help Fabian.
Mad respect,
it's not even
by the way.
Fabian's cause. He's generous enough.
You're generous too, like that Xerxes guy, right?
Yeah,
I'm generous.
I'm
kind.
kind. I'm kind.
Oh, that's right. I'm kind. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me, Chris Arthur. Like, I mean, what
What'd he
else
say?
is there? What else is there to do? Oh, he's going over there. They want us to go over to Fabian there.
Yeah.
Real quick.
No, he's doing it.
You want a company growing revenue at 80% year over year to stop investing in growth and buy back shares? You already have a buyback program. Of course. So does Apple. Apple increased theirs to $100 billion. Why are you going to issue listen, I'm okay for the dividend, right? I mean, it went from a penny to 25 cents.
True.
I think you would just, for me personally as a shareholder, if there was a vote between increasing the divvy and buying and increasing your share buyback program, I'd go with the share buyback program. That's just where I stand. Again, it's subjective. You have your opinion and I have mine.
Yeah.
If they're conflicting, then you know what? You can write a story about it or do something along those lines. But other than that, that's what I want to see Jensen and company do.
I do like that, though, because that it's just two different methodologies to put money back in the shareholder's hand, right? You want to give it as a divvy, right? And if you cash out the divvy, that's realized as income.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a certain type of tax realization there. If you pay it out as a share buyback, that's capital appreciation, of course, and that's more of a capital gain. So it really depends on, what kind of tax sheltering you're trying to do.
Yeah,
I think that's a great freaking point, man. I've never actually viewed it from that perspective until you mentioned it right now, and I do like that you did that, because we're going to do some tax planning coming up. We're not going to tell anybody about it.
Yeah, we don't want to tell nobody about that one.
Be good there.
All right.
All right, we're having a great time.
Yeah.
Adara is at the big desk, and she has news.
Yeah, I'm seeing reports here from an outlet called SBJ, seems like a sport outlet here, that the NBA and YouTube are in advanced talks on a 2027 to 2028 aggregated local streaming hub for 20 to 25 teams, up to 29 teams, at a price tag of above $1 billion. So again, seeing reports that for the 2027 to 2028 seasons, NBA and YouTube could be in talks here. Just a report. Google here, of course, YouTube's owner and runner. It's near highs. Back to you.
All right, we're looking for a big move above 530 here. CDTG rejecting 530, but it's, it hasn't been up here. Here's 29, aggressive seller. 30, 31, we need a little bit more, 35. Oh, come on, man, print me, man. The spread is prohibitive on this. Are you kidding? Look at the drop, bro. It dropped into 80s. I had to get out. But believe it or not, that's not even a loss. That was ridiculous. What kind of psycho seller was from 530 into 480 immediately? And look at it right back up, of course, as the algorithms trigger the buy here. Watching, I could get right back in. Man, that sucked. I still had some of my position on there. Could have been a much bigger trade for me on that one, but whatever. It is what it is. So now we're watching here, Joey, trying to get back in. Going to be watching the 5-second chart here on CDTG.
Good stuff, my brother, man. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, Amazon at the high of the day. That's been a really good look. Slight pullback here in SpaceX. Market still can't find its merry way. We are above the volume weighted average price. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me one more time. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Micron. I tend to agree. Kathy Wood actually bought $22 million worth as well, too, after offloading some of her other positions, AMD and Palantir. So, I mean, it's a buy, but, like, we get into the float. It's just like, come on, let's reduce that a little bit. It went through a split not too long, a couple of years ago, I believe, right? So, hopefully at some point it starts to buy back some shares. Now, Meta down 3% here today, guys. Oh, man. You know what? Listen, I don't want to kick it when it's down. But it's getting pretty ugly, and this might take significantly longer than what we're expecting to find any form of recovery. There's a massive shelf being formed on the higher time frame as well, too. Here on Meta, this is a head and shoulders, man. Uh-oh, that's not good, Sharif. And as for the C, we don't want to say anything over there, but listen, they would say, yeah, hey, if you get a retest of this low 520, this could get pretty ugly here in Meta. And I mean, there was multiple chances for me to get out of this position, and I decided to hold. So I'm going to have to remain within this and just stay. I'm not bullish right now, but I do believe the company will have the opportunity to turn around. It is a massive change coming. I think they're going to put age restrictions across the board here in regards to Instagram and some of the other social media platforms. I wouldn't be surprised in the near future, Sharif, if we see a 18 plus for some of these platforms.
You don't think 16?
16, 18, somewhere along those lines, right? Like no preteens on there or anything along those lines, right? Like just because of the damage. And listen, this stuff has changed our world truly. Like Instagram, I think, has such a massive part in it as well too. Probably the majority of it, if you ask me, falls into Instagram because the wave of
couldn't agree more.
The influencer was just so impactful from day to day. Talk to us.
There it goes, man. There it freaking goes. We got bamboozled on that, got right back in at 5 1/3, and there it goes into the high of the day, 87. We take out the high of the day. I'm looking for more. All right. I'm looking for 5.5 to 5 reload. I know that's a wide range, but you know, let's see exactly what this one has to offer. There's another move into the high of the day, 87s, big seller here at 85. CDTG is not done yet, guys. And now that we're almost $1 above 5, there it goes into 97s. Now I'm going to start thinking 10. Let's see exactly how 6 and 7 act, and then we'll kind of make an educated guess with respect to that. But this one looking real good as we go to Adara.
Keep an eye here on Uber. UBER in focus. The information, apparently writing an article calling this one a potential long, saying, quote, the Waymo wipeout of Uber shares has gone too far. I like the name Waymo Wipeout. Yeah, I guess you guys can weigh on that in the chat. But UBER, for what it's worth, up on the day. Let's see if this holds. Back to you.
Man, Casey, 5/20/6. Fabian, she donated. Her birthday is May 26th, right? Which is an okay day. I think May 25th is better. But she donated $526 because her birthday is 5/26. So
what the heck?
We love you, Case. You're awesome. You're literally awesome, man. You're
crazy.
Bro, she's awesome. That's just what she does around here, man.
And you're out of this world.
You're out of this world. Boom. Would we have that?
It's actually from New York.
There we go. Here it is. Sorry about that, Joey. My bad. He's got to take off on the
That's all right, man. We can hit
Even though it's AMC. Nobody trading AMC anymore. No, seriously, to Casey, thank you so much. That is, thank you to Anonymous so much for Anonymous. We shouted, I don't know why it says Anonymous, Case, but we're shouting you out. So we're giving you kind of like the specialized treatment there. What's that, Assassino? What? Oh, you chose Anonymous, Case. You chose to put it as Anonymous. That's what Andre is saying, Assassino. So it looks like it's kind of on you there. But no, honestly, that is quite nice of you. I really do appreciate it. We think it's for a fantastic cause. We got to go to Adair because there's breaking news. But Assassino, I just want to tell them, CDTG, 601 high. I'm looking for 5 to 5.5 hold up Adair.
Okay, so there's a pretty long Truth Social post from President Trump. I'm just going to front run by saying this is about any of these psychedelic names. So CMPS and DFTX are trading to the upside. Trump saying, quote, in April, I signed a very important executive order to accelerate medical treatments for serious mental illnesses, specifically psychedelic drugs, including all caps Ibogaine. This is something that has helped so many of our amazing all caps veterans and true American heroes who were in the Oval Office with me and Joe Rogan. Today, I'm announcing that Secretary Kennedy has received a historic gift from the University of Miami, who has given the federal government its original 1994 Ibogaine investigational new drug application. This will give everyone direct access to the foundational FDI authorization to accelerate its development as a medical treatment in the U.S. And then he thanks a whole bunch of people and shouts out the HHS. But keep an eye here in CMPS and DFTX endorsement here for these psychedelic magical mushroom type plays here from President Trump. Back to you.
All right, very interesting stuff from the man himself. I like what TH. Oh, okay, I see. I see why I said that. TCH. Okay, 4940. I mean, you can get behind that there. But yeah, let's see a potential double top here, ladies and gentlemen, on Amazon, right? $262 there. Now starting to come back in. The Nasdaq not finding his merry way, but volume starting to uptick here. Is there going to be a good opportunity for us to get involved in some NVDA one more time? We did run right back in towards the volume weighted average price. Let's pull this bad boy up. Maybe start relatively small. We're going to post up at a key level. I want to get south of VWAP. So we'll go 34.96s. 34.96 is where I'm going to post up on NVDA for a continuation and potential move for the latter half of the day. I'm not sure we'll get that. It might be a little bit of a stretch on this trade, but that's okay. We'll see if the trading gods are fortunate enough to give us that order fill. We're now breaking into 35.09s, and this is a key pivot as the Nasdaq, SPY, and NVDA are having volume step into it. Apple's starting to slightly come back in, and SpaceX still hovering around those highs of the day. So a big-time recovery in SpaceX, not so much here on NVDA. How's AMD been performing? We're still down 5%. It's Big Smile in the chat. I'm sure he's listening. This is what I'm talking about. So this is where the instance, like where you want to go further dated, but the spread would work out for you. Because if you have a couple of gap down sessions and then you just happen to be in the position for when it breaks down and then you have an additional like 6 or 7% day, this is where you can really clean up on your put options there, Big Smile. But other than that, I would be waiting for that 420 break. It may or may not happen. But the longer this shelf takes to break down and lose the support, I mean, who knows? It could take an additional leg higher, but I want to see a healthy pullback here. These consolidations up here drive me through the wall, so we'll do what grinds my gears. It's 1 o'clock, so we can do it now. I think that's a reasonable time. It's these lengthy consolidations where you're not really in any form of a direction except for eastbound, not down. But eventually, I do believe we see 400 at some point. I don't know when. It's just that I feel that price action needs to clean up some liquidity, and then maybe it can head a little bit higher.
All right, Joey, there's been development here in what is moving. Look, I don't think Cast is done. I just took a couple of quick scalps off 40 into 50s, but nothing to write home about. But I do want to mention here that CAST is making a move. It's back above VWAP. It's at 1 2/3, just popped off there in the quarter of a dollar to 207 high. So this could be a lower high. Be careful with that. And then I also want to mention here OSRH catching a bit of a bid. I'm not going to trade this hot garbage. It didn't respect the volume weighted average price after holding it for a while. It lured me in with higher highs and higher lows. So if this one wants to go, it's likely going to go without me unless there's nothing else to trade. So OSRH on Uncle Sheriff shit list, but we're going to keep an eye here on CDTG. Here comes the $0.50 above in. What a move up. And the breakout is on now, it looks like. Watch out for bamboozlement, though. So there we go, right at the $0.50 again. I'm looking at the 5-second chart. A loss here, a 515. I want to say 520 to 515 is a big problem because that's a local area low. 530 to 5 1/4 has been a buy area for the longs. I guess it's an area of defense here on the 5-second chart, but we did just get lured up into that 5 2/3 area, and then we dropped quick as you like, almost back into the $0.25. Here comes the $0.33 of a dollar now. So yeah, it feels like this one may not be quite ready to go yet. There's the $0.25 buyer again. Hey, if it holds up here, gives me a higher low on the 5, possibly even takes out 5.70 or 5 2/3, then I think that's a bullish setup. Right now, it's not breaking down, so the setup is decent on the 5-second chart, but it's not enough for me to kind of jump in here. So I want to see exactly what this one has to offer, and if it can kind of resume trend, take out some higher lows, higher highs, then we'll jump into this one again. I do like CDTG, just, you know, trying to snipe the areas that that are, you know, appropriate in my estimation here. Adira putting a headline there. Iran foreign minister says Tehran threatened ceasefire proposals. Iran FM says war must not end.
No,
must end. Sorry, not pause. Okay, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be
great.
Fantastic here if it ends and doesn't pause. But something tells me that there may not be an end to the war prior to the midterms. Just my spidey sense.
I don't see it coming to any form of conclusion anytime soon, to be honest. And that's just me. In my opinion, I could totally be wrong. And I think for the sake of a lot of individuals, I am. Now, where are we posted up at 34.95, starting to slowly come back in on this bad boy. Amazon starting to come back in, but you can see from our volume standpoint, we're really cooling off right now, ladies and gentlemen. But double top there at 262.14. If there's anything specific that you guys want to go over, I don't think we asked you this today. Put a couple of tickers in the chat. We'll do some TA on them. We'll run through our list. How has your boy Duolingo been performing on today's session, Sharif?
Can I want to drop a couple
questions,
a couple comments about Duo.
Duo.
So they've improved a little bit.
Okay.
So there's like that. Have you seen that explain my answer?
Yes.
Thing? What do you think about that?
That's
it's not
cool.
too bad, right?
No, that's great.
It kind of gives you some of the the details that was missing, that was having to constantly go and use the LLM. Yeah, exactly. And I also like okay, so for Mandarin specifically, the tone in how you say the word, if it's an up pitch or down pitch, makes a big difference. So sometimes when I say words to Michael, like I'm pronouncing them perfectly, but I'm not using the right tone. So it takes him like a second to understand what I'm saying. So now they're actually kind of driving that home. I didn't even know that there was an area in Duo for that specifically.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's interesting.
I didn't. So that's kind of helping a lot, because there's like apparently 4 different sounds that you can make with the word in Mandarin, and it denotes meaning. That's equally as important.
You definitely picked the most complex language.
I'm down, bro.
Yeah,
Can I
which
say
is cool.
There's no feminine and masculine.
Oh, that's the issue with Spanish sometimes.
And French.
Like, yeah.
And then there's the verb irregular, which are super annoying to conjugate those hot garbage. It's frustrating. I never really liked French, but my parents both speak French. My sister speaks French. I'm like the only one fluent, bro.
Oh, really?
Fluent.
Why is that? So
where they were taught? They went to French school.
Oh, in
Egypt.
In Egypt. Okay, all right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, both of them did.
Oh, that's and your sister's older than
my
you.
sister. Like 6.5. She's just because she's smart.
She's smart.
Like she liked it. She's like, I'm gonna learn. She actually did a little German too, bro.
Oh, really?
And they have neutral in German as well, masculine, feminine, and neutral.
Sprechen die Deutsch.
Yeah, sprechen Sie Deutsch. Nah, man, I'm going with the trend. I'm a trend following system. Something tells me Mandarin is the trend.
Oh, is it? What is it? What is
I
that?
think so.
Trend is your friend.
I'm going with
I
this,
know
bro.
where you're going over there. Da Nang. Maybe at some point. No, being sarcastic there. Listen, let's go over some of the names. Yeah, GEV.
Wild
Some people ask it. Who was it asked me if I can go over GEV's options chain? Yeah, VM3. Learning, absolutely, man. You ask kindly and you shall receive. So we'll head over to our options chain and see what GEV has cooking up for us here today. Now, listen, this isn't going to be a name that's highly liquid, right? So when we talk about trading options and you're getting into the world of derivatives, liquidity is, I don't know if I should say more important, but equal to is what you're trading in the underlying asset. Now, with the underlying asset can be significantly more liquid than what you're experiencing here in the derivatives market. But when you're trading these, just getting in and out is so key. But then also what comes into play, exact same thing with the equities front of things, is your spread. So if you're looking at, say, a 10, 15 cent or probably even 30-cent spread on GEV, right? Probably maybe closer to $1. We can pull that up here momentarily. Actually, I can do it right now. Why am I even talking hypothetical when we have all the information that we need right here? So 214.62 and 10.15. So you're looking at 60 to 70 cents. You'll see that reflected to the tune of hundreds of dollars in GEV on the options chain. Like, think about it. If you were going to purchase this or write this, there is a hold your breath now, everyone. There is a $500 spread if you're going to be on the writer side of things or the purchasing or the buyer, right? So $23, right, or $2,300 or $1,800 right there, okay? So there's a $500 spread, which is absolutely insane. It makes it a lot more difficult. Now, as for open interest, because we don't have the liquidity, it's harder to gauge where you have the hedge funds or where the larger participants are really hanging out and placing their bets. If you head over to the Nasdaq, the Qs, the SpaceX, the NVDAs, the Apples, I shouldn't say AMDs, but those top names in the volume list, you'll be able to identify that. I don't know if we can necessarily do that with GEV. We'll look for highest levels of open interest, but you can see 243 contracts at $1,050, understandable, but this could be one person, and then there's no volume pretty much. Staying 79, one contract here, which makes trading the derivative is significantly more difficult for my style of trade.
All right, man. Cass is making a move here. Casey's calling it out. Bovin is calling it out. Who else? People are going to come on me if they're like, I called it out. You didn't say. Hebrew Letters is calling it out. I can't read that, brother. Who else, man? There's a bunch of people calling it out as well. Yeah, Bovin again. Wrinkled Hippie. Shout out to my man, Wrinkled Hippie. He's calling it out. So, look. I'm watching it. It's going, but these are two candles here that are catching my attention. The high is 187 and the open there is 187. So 187, a key area for me, kind of random, only because those are the two closing prints on the day. So I'll watch this. I have no problems trading it. It looks like it might be following the 10 EMA on the 5 right now. It's not strictly holding higher lows and higher highs on the 5, but it is following trend. So if it continues to do that, I'll be involved, but not going to jump in quite yet. I see IPST as well is starting to break out. You can see it's breaking through the channel here, guys. So IPST could be a move. Look at this. Watch out for the topping tail candles. It's done it before. It did it at 11:35. It did it at 11:10. So you need to look for verification on this one. Look for the hold of prior bar, right? That's kind of what you're looking for there. But IPST is making a move, so you need to be alive to that as well. So is OSRH. Sorry, let me just bring it in. OSRH is curling up here. This is far higher than any print that I got on OSRH. I said I wouldn't trade it. I think I'm going to stay away from this one until if it gets back above $1. I think I've got enough to deal with right now. We've got possibly CAST making a move, and the tape is picking up. Look at the left side of my screen. See how there's a lot of green and yellow? Well, now they're coming some red there. What I want to see is waves of orange, and there's a big seller here at 75, dampening everybody's party. Looks like some of his orders are getting taken off. No, into 74, back into 75. So $0.75 here acting as a key area of technical resistance. There's 76. Does it hold? It's a thick trade here, man. Almost 73 and a third million shares already exchanging hands. It's only $1 name, though. But look how much trouble it's having with 76. Equally as much trouble as it had with 75. Perhaps pick it up on the dip. Flipping to the 5-second chart on the top screen here on Cast to spot areas of support and resistance. It's a tougher name to look at. I think you should just try to be picking up higher lows. It's generally held higher lows, so possibly something maybe into the mid to low 170s, something like this. For example, let's see if this one holds up. If I get in here, I'd have to give it to about 67 or so. Let's give that a try there, and we'll give this one the old college try. What do we got? We got 7 ones. Let's go ahead and post here. Let's see what we get. If we can take out that 7.5 seller, that would be cool. Yeah, that's all for now. IPST, this was a problem. Let's see if it holds up, but this is a concern for me, right? There's so many topping tail candles through this channel, and then it ends up failing. So look for a hold above prior bar, and even a clearing of prior bar as well. Like a move above 17, I think puts you in fantastic position here, especially if it closes that way on IPST. If you can get that decided move, get out of the channel so it's no longer trading as a range, I think here it comes, 1653. IPST could be him. Let's see if it can move and hold above 17, though. Let's get that ready on a trading screen. IPST, it's already ready over here. So we're good to go. Spread on this one, still crappy, 20 pennies, wider at times, tighter at times, 14 here. So that's what we're watching right now, Joey. There's no shortage of names.
I like that trend, that break there, that trend break.
This trend break here.
Yeah.
What I was pointing out was this candle here and that candle there. That's why I wanted to see a little bit more, right? Those two candles are the bamboozlers in chief. So keep an eye out on that.
SMCI ripping? Yeah, let's pull it up.
Pull up.
Here we go, going to SMCI, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it actually?
SMCI, super micro. Yeah, it is actually on the move here. Great call out there. My boy Yannick, what's cooking, brother? I hope you guys, everyone had a fantastic weekend. It was a pretty good one. I don't know what it was like in the city, but where I was, it was really, really nice. All right, SMCI really starting to pick up momentum and volume. Wow, this is some big volume spike here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, yeah, I haven't heard that one here today. So here it is. Off to the races it goes. Now, I think at this point, where is Noodles? Is Noodles always trading SMCI? We're going to look for a 38.15 break, right? And then a pullback and then maybe a continuation of the trend. But what we do have is the stair step higher in volume. So there's a couple of things correlating. Does that mean it has to continue on the path that it's currently on? No. But we do have the stars are slowly starting to align themselves. SpaceX starting to come back in. We've yet to catch that fill on NVDA. SpaceX finally breaking trend and picking up steam to the southeast there, ladies and gentlemen. But SMCI definitely looking pretty good today. And I know some people talking about Netflix. Who? Netflix up 3%, starting to come back in as well, too, ladies and gentlemen. My boy Texas Instruments getting hit pretty heavy today, Shreve. Down 4 1/5, but still consolidating. But what we can see here throughout the daily and its price action is consistent lower highs there, ladies and gentlemen. We should catch this fill momentarily. I don't know why. It's just prolonging. Now, you're shorting video full of fun. Yeah, good luck there. I'm long here at 34.95. Let's see if we get this area to step back in, and then boom, off to the races. Go on now.
Oh, my days. It took it out all in one fell swoop, man. Got into IPST at 1688. It took out all my orders into 1769 in one fell swoop, and now it's failing 17.
69er.
I know, right? My day. It's all over the map here, guys. IPST on the lookout, right back into that area high, 17 1/3. This one could see 18 sooner rather than later. It's trading near the highs. The buyers are coming in pretty aggressively here above 17. Let's continue to watch this now. This is a nice trend break here on IPST, but we need to see a little bit more so that we're not lured in and then this one makes a beeline back into 14 where the volume weighted average price is. 18.30 limit up. Seller at 33.34. Continuing to hold 17s options, man. Let's see if it can hold up here. Definitely looking at getting back in. Are they buying at higher levels? Yes, they are. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. We're going to go 1688. Oops. Take over for a sec.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Dude, are you okay? Anyways, let's see what we got going on. You're going short. Oh, SMCI looks like a potential short, man, over here. I probably have to order them for this bad boy. Let's see if we get any form of a pullback, but what we do have is an isolated pivot. Now, the volume increased as well, too, so we didn't quite get to that 38.08. What we will do is pull up the options chain to see if there's anything correlating with this potential top. If there is a high level of open interest, then there might be a good opportunity, but again, we're going to be going counter trend, so we have to be prepared to stick to our risk measures and get out when we're supposed to. $39, where did we reject? 38, seeing 6,000. That next level is going to be at 39. Ooh, we're really starting to come back in here on SMCI. Let's keep an eye out on this one. Yeah, for sure. Just in case, right, what we're going to be looking for is a move back up into this level and then an additional rejection. But that isolated candle and what we got going on there, Gaurav, I know you said you weren't trading anymore. The stars are really starting to align in this bad boy, and I'm going to be looking for some opportunities there via SMCI. Market still doesn't know if it's coming or going. Right now it's choppy, and I think it's best to avoid the TQQs and the SPY on today's intraday trading. Unless you're establishing those intraday iron condors via the options trade, that would be a really good day to construct that style of trade and that that strategy. Is it still going? It really came in there aggressively, man.
It was we had to stop out on that. That was pretty aggressive, man. Look at that move. 15.5 buyer though, multiple times. I'm not bottom picking this, but it's holding trend, especially if it can hold 15. If it can hold 15, this holds trend. So right back above, it's got 15.5 here. I would say this is not bad. This is not bad. It's above the 10 EMA. It hasn't fallen back into that downward channel quite yet. So local area lows right at VWAP, 1573. So yeah, that's the area that it held generally. Let's see if this can make a bigger move back up. There we go. We're out of the money on this, but we have such a small position here on cast. I'm just going to wait till it breaches VWAP, possibly around 149. So let's just put 149 on there for the last remaining amount there on CAST. It's like a nothing burger, so I needn't worry too much about it. I want to focus the majority of my energy here on IPST in case this one really gets going here and takes out some levels. So that's what I'm going to do with this specific one. Let's put in some orders because this one has a tendency to rip up. Now it can do it both ways, right? Seller at 60 here, can't shake the seller at 60. So looking for a bigger move on IPST. I don't mind this, this trend resumption here, or this trend hold, excuse me. What I'm looking for is it to hold 15. So in at this level, I'll stop out likely below 1550 just because that's where the candle low is. But I'll keep it on watch above 15. 15 to me is a level that it has to hold, right? Because that puts it back into the downward channel. If it falls back into that downward channel, then the trend, there's no trend here except that downward channel. You can trade it that way, but that's not what I'm interested in. So looking for a move back here into 17s. We just got one profit taker there on IPST. We're looking for a bigger move, though, into 17s, Joe.
All right, man. Good luck, man. Yeah, these pullbacks are crazy, the volatility. SMCI. You know what we will do? Let's see if I can place an order on this one or I have to order shorts. I'm going to post up at 3790s. I'm going to post up at 3790s, ladies and gentlemen. I know I like to repeat what I'm doing so you can hear clearly instead of me having to repeat over and over again. We didn't get that order filled on NVDA, but let's be patient just in case there's some form of an aggressive move back here. But that inverted hammer candle closing as a complete one, and then also the isolated volume signature. I like the look of this one's jib, as Sharif would like to say. So let's see if we can get this one. The order has now officially been placed. You want 18, says Electric Passions. Okay, thoughts on buying super deep in the money options versus holding shares? That's a really good question. Super deep in the money. And are you talking about super deep, like we're talking leaps, the furthest expiration cycle that you can get, like multiple years? Then we're having a different conversation, right? Like, so for me, with something that I'm particularly running right now, is that I have a strategy where I'm just going the share route, so I don't have to worry about the Greek factors whatsoever. And then when it dips, I can just continuously buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more, and not have to worry about theta and rolling over contracts. So just let me know what you're thinking. If you're talking about buying far, far out leaps, if you do want to leverage your system, it's not a horrible play, but until your thesis starts working, I'm going to be a firm advocate of the spread. All right, just hedge your position until you really get that momentum start to kick in, and then sure enough, you might be able to rock and roll. But at that point, the spread at times can be more profitable than just flat out buying or the put or the call, right? Whether it be a bull put or a bear put or a bull call. There you go, bang. Man,
it's pretty. It's so pretty. Into the high of the I lied. Into the halt we go. 1848 limit up on IPST. Oh, that's a nice ad there, man. Right into 16 and a half.
The eye hit. I
love that one, man. Katina Man chose the right one there, bro. There it goes. Limit up 1848 IPST. Doing it live. It's got almost 22 million shares in the top now, guys. 1853. Not that far away from where we halted, but there it goes. IPST has decidedly broken trend. It could be back on the way to $20 here. It does have a $20, 25-cent high on the day, but we're going to have to see exactly how this one opens up. We're only about 2 pennies above the the halt price now. So halt time 13:25:32. Current time, of course, is 26:20. So we have another 4 minutes to go. Casey dropping another 5 MB. Bro, Case, we saw how much these membership costs. Like, these aren't cheap.
Case, are you just come to the studio already?
Thank you, Case, for the memberships. As always, very, very kind of you. Killing it, man.
Wow.
Who got the members, man? Jason Hill, Keen, Nick Slit, Keith, Stevie Jewell. All you guys got a free Trader TV Live membership. Thanks to KC526.
Fabian's loading up Neil's stream deck there.
I don't know what he's doing over there, man. He's doing something.
You got something going on.
But we got to tell them, though, Joey, if they want a free membership, they're going to have to be in the chat because only individuals in the chat get a free membership.
They have to schlep into the chat. If you wear a Yankees jersey, Joe.
No, you're going to wear a Yankees jersey? PFSA is breaking out, man.
In order for Casey to reach the city.
That's a tough one there, man. Are you going to do it, Joey?
Looks like you're staying in NYC, girl. We're only playing around.
All right, what are you looking at?
Same thing, man. It looks like we're going to catch this fill on, and you have a membership, Manu Dragon. You're in the chat and you have a membership. Let's see, we're posted up on SMCI. Still can't catch this order here on NVDA. So we have 2 potential trades posted up right now. We're not going to pay anything more, or we're not going to sell anything less. Wow, look at this double top here on Amazon. Yeah, 262.14, and now starting to come back into VWAP. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. Now it's only a matter of time until we catch this order fill on SMCI. Market's still not doing anything, ladies and gentlemen. So, but Gorev's not even trading right now. So, give me a minute here. I know you got something going on.
We got to do the news, brother.
Oh, okay.
It's almost half an hour past.
It's half an hour past. All right, I don't really have an important to say, so we'll pop up and fire up the news.
Send it up to see you.
Talk first about Home Depot, shall we, Adara? Top and bottom line beat as well here. Raised guidance as well, which includes tariff refunds that are quote-unquote expected to partially offset unplanned fuel, energy, and other product input costs. The CFO of the company, Richard McPhail, has also said that despite the quote-unquote frozen housing market, Home Depot is taking their share and serving their customers better every single day. He's also assured that growth has been seen in both pro as well as DIY businesses. So let's take a look at the numbers, shall we? EPS has come in at $4.92 adjusted versus the expected number at $4.73. Revenue at $47.86 billion versus $47.27 billion that was expected. Net income at $4.77 billion. Sales are up 1.7%, beating the expectations of 0.9%, Adara. And according to the CFO, these are the highest sales that the company has made since the fiscal third quarter of the year 2022. So expectations for sales growth for the upcoming fiscal year is between the range of 2.5 to 4.5.
Yeah, and I think too, like the average ticket growing on a year-over-year basis, I also like. It was a 92.5 or so this year. Last year it was just above $90, so I do like that. I want to talk, though, about CEO Ted Decker. So he's currently on medical leave, and the medical leave was announced on August 12th, which was less than a week before the earnings report. Now, I'm not going to lie, the only obvious precedent for this was Thomas Siebel at C3AI, who announced, just because I'm losing my vision doesn't mean I can't run the company. Then he did step down as CEO, then he came back as CEO. So that's really, to me, the only obvious precedent. Now, I know these are very different companies. I want to start with that. I mean, C3AI is tiny and was already a little bit tumultuous, I'll put it kindly. But Home Depot is a much more established company, and as Sharif said, this is a company that, you know, they've got a well-oiled machine. You'd hope they don't necessarily need the CEO to run. But given the timing of that medical leave announcement, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of nervous about this report. I like this report even more with that in mind, because it shows even though our CEO is dealing with some health issues, which they said they think he'll be back in a couple months, you know, I appreciate them just giving us the heads up, saying, hey, this is happening. He'll be back soon. I think the numbers don't seem to have suffered, which I really like. So yeah, I think, I'm not going to lie, I was expecting the worst from this report, and we definitely didn't get that. So I'll give them the hats off, quite honestly, for that.
Sorry, just in a position, can you take over for a sec while I allow this
there's a couple of things that I like about, or so I should say there's one main thing, is that they're going to really increase, they're ramping up their home delivery, right? So now you can place orders within select items in the store and receive them under 3 hours, all right? So we're seeing a lot of retail names do this pivot, so you don't have to have everyone at the brick and mortar. Now they're going to have these hubs where they will dispense all of the materials that will be selective within the catalog of the company itself, but under 3 hours, that's going to increase their DIY individual and how many people are using whatever it may be, the app or whatever platform they need in order to place those orders. Now, what have we seen over the past couple of quarters? It's been more or less the pro carrying the weight on their shoulders. Now, you have the company stepping in and buying most of the products. As Adara mentioned, you're having this stagnant movement, or sorry, no movement at all within the housing market. So with that being said, people aren't necessarily doing things to their new house, renovating it how they like, and that can be a little bit of an issue. But this could be the start of something big for the company. I like what they what they're doing with this specific home delivery system.
Sorry, just here.
Yeah, all right, we'll go on to the next story then.
All right, no, I got it here. So you stopped out. You lost 21. I tried to add through 21. I didn't give that enough room. Obviously, I should have left that there because, see, this is, yeah, I can't trade these small caps during the news segment. It's not going to be a tenable position here. So you're gonna have to do this without me today.
All right, let's go. See ya.
Yeah, let's take a look at Baidu, that is Baidu. Revenue for this company coming in at 31.3 billion yuan, around close to $4.6 billion, down 2% from the prior quarter and 4% from the year earlier. General business for the company has generated 25.2 billion yuan in revenue. And that is down 3% sequentially and 4% year over year. CEO of the company, Robin Li, has said that the Baidu core AI-powered business revenue has reached 12.5 billion yuan, which represents half of Baidu's general business revenue. And AI cloud infrastructure revenue has climbed 50% year over year, while GPU cloud revenue has grown a whopping 283%. That's right, accelerating from 184% in the first quarter. Management has also said that is expecting AI cloud infrastructure growth to remain strong in the second half, with potential for future acceleration. Currently, BIDU is down 13.2% on the day.
All right, so Baidu's net income for the period slumped 68% from a year ago to 2.3 billion won, as CEO was mentioning, or $344 million. Revenue dropped 4% from a year ago to 31.3 billion won. So, I mean, it's a tough look within this name. Both figures missed expectations, but analysts also polled by FactSet were looking for net income of 2.8 billion won and a revenue of 31.7 billion won as well, too. Baidu's American depository receipts have dropped 8.9% to $94.93 in early trading hours. The S&P 500 was about 0.4 lower, but also stating Baidu's search engine business has come under pressure in recent years, with users pivoting to large language models and advertising and marketing income drying up. So essentially what these guys are stating is that we're getting hit pretty heavy at this point just due to the AI build-out. The world's biggest companies are plowing hundreds of billions of dollars into the artificial intelligence race, and Baidu is showing those risks. Hence why you're getting some hefty double-digit pullbacks here. Net income down 68% from the previous quarter last year, and revenue dropping 4%. That's a really tough look in this name. The ADRs are also down 24% over the past 12 months. The company has shed about $70 billion in total market cap since February of 2021, with a valuation of just over 35 billion as of Monday's close. So as the close yesterday, and I mean, we can pull up the actual technicals within this stock as well too to see how it's been performing, but it's probably not good. The numbers aren't really justifying themselves at all. So Baidu down to 90.35 and another massive slump on today's intraday session. It's been a tough look in this company. Let's send it back to see you.
Let's take a look at Klarna. Adara's going to cover why it's down, but I'm just going to go over the technicals for you. GMV, that is the gross merchandise value, has reached $36.6 billion. That is up 18.8% year over year. Revenue at $1.042 billion, which is up 27% year over year. But adjusted operating income of $91 million and operating income at $27 million versus the loss of $46 million in the second quarter of last year. Net income, $9 million versus a loss of $53 million in the second quarter of last year. And active users at 120 million, that is up 9% year over year, Adara.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Wall Street Engine on X here because they have the guide in like a fun way that I think you can show you guys all with green and yellow signs to see how much it missed by. So fiscal 2026 revenue guide, 4.08 billion to 4.16 billion, and below the estimates of 4.42 billion. Now, adjusted operating income outlook for the fiscal year actually beat estimates. We're going to get into the quarterly guide in a second. They're guiding adjusted operating income between 280 million and 280 million and 300 million for the fiscal year. That's going to be well above estimates of 161 million. Let's talk about Q3. Revenue outlook for Q3, 940 million to 980 million. We were looking for 1.11 billion. Now, here's the adjusted operating income outlook for Q3, which just when you see this number, at least I did, my jaw was on the floor, 5 million to 15 million. Analysts were looking for just shy of $53 million. So I think this guidance miss specifically, I mean, you missed revenue outlook for both the fiscal year and the quarter, then you missed quarterly adjusted operating income outlook. This is a good report for the quarter, but I do think it's worth keeping an eye on this guidance. I also want to talk here about our revenue growth. Now, revenue growth slowing down a little bit, still 27% year over year, but as you guys can see, this revenue growth was an upward trajectory from a sequential standpoint. We've broken that momentum now. So we'll have to see how Q3 goes, but that's my take here on KLAR and why it might be down despite the seemingly strong earnings report.
Now, Klarna reported earnings of 1 cent per share, beating the consensus estimates of a loss of 5 cents per share. So if we're looking at anything positive, this might be one of the underlines. Gross merchandise volume, or GMV, increased 18% to $36.6 billion. US GMV rose 27% as well too. But what really stood out for me, and this is a story that we've been talking about for quite some time, is that Klarna and Apple also launched the Apple Upgrade Device Leasing Program in the US, adding another growth channel for Klarna. Management expects the partnership to generate positive adjusted operating income in 2026 and said it could be very assertive over time. Now, there's a couple other things. Transaction margin dollars climbed 42% to 446 million. Now, we talked about this payment method having 120 plus million active users, and then they're in multiple stores. You head over to H&M and some other other stores as well too. Some of them slipping my mind. But in regards, we were down 22% at one point. When you lower your guidance like that, Adara hit that nail on the head, is that when guidance is that bad, you get down to, you see these stocks fall 20+%. And that was exactly what happened here with KLAR.
Damn money, man. Let's go. Killing it on this. Let's go. Come on. New high day, 2250. We're looking for 2325 now. 22 reclaimed. 22.5 incoming. Let's go. That's a new high a day. Give me my money. Boom. Into the high. Looking for 23.25. It's not coming in, Joey. IPST. We're all over this monster. We're over $2 in the money. That could be hollow sorrow because this thing can turn on you. But here comes again, 23.70 high a day. And we're looking to do it live. Let's send it back to the ladies.
Let's take a look at AAPL. American Airlines is giving, finally, I should say, a green light to seat-back screens. The new screens will feature 4K displays and will start appearing with new deliveries from Boeing and Airbus in, drumroll, 2028, not yet. It will also retrofit the aircraft so that the passengers in all cabins are and will be able to use the screens and other additions like Bluetooth audio pairing as well as USB-C charging. So American has been, quote unquote, seriously considering the technology along with major cabin revamp for months. And the company had long avoided seatback screens. Also, executives of the company had contended that it wasn't worth the cost of equipment and weight that they had added to the aircraft. They said that they expected flyers to use their own devices for entertainment.
Expect flyers to use their own device? What kind of nonsense is that? So yeah, anyways, aside from that, that's crazy. Adding that, listen, why you?
That's for AAL, not you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, we'll hit it one more time. We'll hit it, and then you'll hit it there as well too. So let's go, let's not go, listen. I'm not the biggest fan of this company, but Americans, 140 long-haul jets already have seatback screens. What they will be doing is adding them to the single-aisle jetliners here. 800 single-aisle jets that operate mostly domestic flights will be an expensive undertaking. America hasn't disclosed how much it plans to spend. Listen, now this is a lot of this is going to fall into economy when we see a pivot between some of the other larger airlines like Delta really starting to hyper focus on premium, the premium seats, right, and first class. So I don't know if this is going to be a major game changer. At least American Airlines is doing this, but I don't know if people are going to jump ship and be like, oh, I'm glad that we now have a TV on the back of the seat. I have to ride American Airlines. Is that going to change the service altogether? No, it's a step in the right direction, but we've already seen the other airlines that you hop on, whether it be Air Transat, they typically have a screen. Air Canada, you'll get the exact same thing, and most definitely Delta. So, I mean, at least it's better late than never, but I don't think this is going to be a major game changer here for American Airlines.
Definitely. Let's take a look at Meta now. Meta's trial, we're seeing a lot about this going on, and we have been hearing a lot about this. Let's take a look at what is going on. So now Meta is set to open its arguments today in the trial that California Attorney General Rob Bonta is co-leading against the company. So it follows a plethora of allegations that the company is responsible for fostering addictive behavior in teenagers and children. It involves a coalition of 29 state attorneys general in a unified case against Meta, which has been brought in 2023 and will be argued by lawyers representing California, Colorado, New Jersey, as well as Kentucky. And these stakes are huge, I should say, as leading government officials across the country are pushing for Meta to be held accountable for allegedly violating federal and state laws, which includes the COPPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and many consumer protection statutes. Industry experts are also calling this social media trial that Meta is going through as quote-unquote big tobacco moment with Meta as a centerpiece. So if you remember, this dates back to the year 1990, where tobacco companies had been forced to pay billions of dollars for misleading public about their safety and potential harm of the products.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal. Especially, I mean, in regards to shareholders, some of the fines and the penalties that they could potentially pay is actually the valuation of this company, which is really insane. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, but there is going to be structural change, and there's going to be an age limit in which you can hop onto some of these social media platforms. Now, Meta Platforms is facing its biggest legal challenge yet in a trial that could lead to a penalty of more than $1 trillion. Now, stating that shareholders still seem relatively unbothered, I don't know if that's true either, because this name has been stuck in a range and continues to sell on every single pop. So there's an opposite effect of what's going on here. Pop sells off immediately. The issue for Meta is that even a settlement far short of the potential damage is unlikely to spell the end of its legal troubles, as Barron's has previously written Meta and other companies that run social media sites face a wave of lawsuits filed by teenagers, school districts, and state attorney generals. Now, this is the tobacco moment. There's going to be more regulation when it comes to social media, because we have seen, and everybody in the chat can probably agree too, just the mental health effects that scrolling through Instagram and the fact that you can't tell what is real and what has been staged. And I think that plays a major part in our day-to-day health, right? You see people living these luxurious lifestyles that may not necessarily be true. So a lot of smoke and mirrors on these platforms, and it's definitely hurting the younger children.
Dude, we're just on this aggressively. Every dip trade is being bought up hand over freaking fist, and here comes limit up. 24.48. Sorry, guys, couldn't participate today. This one is just all over the map. This is beautiful, beautiful trading today on IPST, man. All over the map. 24.48 limit up. We're showing 45s. Here it comes. There's limit up. There's the halt parameter now. Let's see how long this holds for. We need 10 seconds at this level. My spidey sense tells me we're probably going to zig and zag here. What a day on IPST. What a break from the upward channel, man. Limit up on IPST. Boom. Good job for everybody who held. I got out of that one a little bit early, but that was a good one right there. Good look on IPST. What a day, bro. Shout out to my man, Magic Mike. Let's get it back to see you.
Let's take a look at ABC here, that is obviously owned by Disney, has filed a First Amendment lawsuit against the FCC by calling its recent investigation of the company a quote-unquote retaliatory campaign due to the nature of its programming, which has been critical of U.S. President Donald Trump. ABC has filed a lawsuit as of today in a district court in Washington, D.C. This is coming months after FCC had launched an early renewal of a set of ABC's broadcast station licenses, citing concerns around the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. So the early review processes come after a renewed political backlash, as everyone knows it. If you have been on social media, you've seen it, after comments were made by Jimmy Kimmel on his late night show. Additionally, ABC had also faced criticism from the government around its daytime talk show, that was The View. So this lawsuit has called for the FCC to halt its early broadcast renewal proceedings. And according to CNBC, the FCC was reached out, was not responded for a comment. With that, Disney is up 1.1%.
Disney. Yeah, I honestly I don't have anything really to say about that one. I don't know if you have anything along those lines.
ABC?
Yeah,
I didn't see anything on ABC today. I'm assuming we're talking Disney here because, you know, that's the parent company. I haven't really been keeping too much tabs on Diz, to be honest with you. I saw streaming was okay last time around. I didn't.
The numbers are growing.
Pardon me?
Their monthly active users are growing in the streaming
standpoint. So what's the issue? Can you scroll back up to that? Actually, I got it right here.
Yeah, you have it there.
Let me just have a quick look at this. So ABC, let's do some comments on this monster. Let's see what we got over here. First Amendment lawsuit by the FCC calling a recent investigation of the company retaliatory. Does it have anything to do with, what's his name? That late night show guy.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Does this have something to do with that? I filed a lawsuit today in district court. Due to the nature of its programming. Oh, are they trying to get the license preemptively after the launch? An early renewal, yeah, there it is, of ABC's broadcast station license, citing concerns around the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The early review process had come after a renewed political backlash. Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Additionally, ABC has also faced criticism from the government around daytime talk show The View. Yeah. Well, look, man, we're not going to start silencing people's opinions here. I think that that's crazy talk. There's going to be people with differing political views. And if that company is, you know, its own company, PFSA is breaking out, guys. Here we go. PFSA is on the move. It's about to take out 13.5. If a company is independently run and they want to include DEI sort of hires on their board, that's their prerogative. You don't have to watch their channel if that bothers you, okay? If that's not your thing, don't invest in Disney and don't watch their content. But if they want to do it and that's their kind of, that's their prerogative, then have at it. I just don't think it's up to the regulator to tell companies how and, you know, in what composition to structure their boards. Even that, if that may bother you, fine, I get it. So then don't watch their channel. You know, kind of vote with your dollar, so to speak. PFSA is really going here, options, man. And we're about to break through 14. So this is a big move here. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Case. Shout out to Bovin. I know they were talking about this one. I was fixated on IPST. But PFSA, when one halts, the other goes here. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to keep a close eye on this one, see ya. Oh, my bad. Phil Fidelt 45. Solid IPST, sorry. Too early, but locked in. Oh my days, 6K of profits. Thanks for the heads up, Uncle Sharif. Fun fact, we were born on the same day. Isn't that so much better than May 26th? It's so good, right?
How are you his uncle then?
Maybe he's young.
Same year.
He said, same year? Oh, my days. Well, I call myself Uncle Sheriff.
Bro. You can't call him. Yeah.
I love it, man. That's amazing. Shout out to my man, Fidelt45. Appreciate you, brother. I'm going to be looking out for you more often now. Fidelt45 coming in fast. We got. Wait, what? Shout out to Case. You know I'm just joling. Jacques. May 8th is still the best, says my man Jacques from the beautiful city of Nice.
Oh,
in the south,
France?
my boy.
He's in France.
He's in the south. I think he's in Oregon right now, but he is originally from Nice.
All right.
I told him, man, we're gonna meet him one day when I visit the south of France.
You going there?
One day.
Is that where you're gonna go? Is Nice?
Maybe, man. May 1st, baby,
over
says
there?
El Jefe. Bovin and I are both 26s. Yes, we do know that. Yeah, guys. IPST's opened. It's gapped down now, 22.5. Look, it's still holding structure. There is a buyer in and around 22. Watch for a loss at 22. I think that changes fundamentally here. If that can hold, I think we may still be in play. Everything going at the moment right now, though, Sia.
Sorry, we were just discussing off camera with Adira about the ABC and Disney thing, but we'll talk about that later. Apple, let's take a look at this. As of today, announced that alternative third-party app stores in the European Union will be charged a 5% commission on in-app purchases, which the company has said will quote-unquote resolve disagreements with regulators stemming from the implementation of Europe's Digital Markets Act. So under these new rules, apps purchased through Apple's App Store, using Apple's system will pay a commission of 26% on digital goods and services, and apps that use their own payment processing systems and take credit cards will pay Apple 20%. Apps that link out to a website to complete purchases will be charged 15%, and apps that are distributed through third-party app stores or the web will be charged 5%, which Apple has called a quote-unquote core technology commission. So some fees can be cut in half by participating in various Apple programs. This new fee, however, takes effect on the 1st of October.
I like this. I just want the regulator off Apple's back when it comes to this App Store debacle. Whatever pleases the regulator, let's just get it done. Let's move past it from the margin story. The services business is where Apple realizes their App Store revenue. Let's just move past this whole monopolization push, angering, some of the product developers. I get all that. If we can just get past that and charge an off App Store fee of whatever 15% for a third-party app store or whatever it's going to be, I'm hoping that this actually concludes sooner rather than later. Once you realize that margin compression, the market discounts that, and you just move past it, right? And so if we can kind of settle this whole Apple App Store thing, it would just be great.
Yeah, wait, none of this is going to end without some form of fine, Sharif. So 500 million.
Well said.
Yeah.
The government got to get paid, my guy.
That's how it is.
Government's got to get
and
paid.
500 million euros right there. But also the U.S. company stated changes include placing developers under a single set of business terms and adjust its commission fees. Also, Apple also states it would put in place additional protection for younger users, including by not allowing apps to link away from the App Store for payments if a user is under 13 years of age. Now, we've seen this in the keynote before. A lot is going on parental guidance here, Sharif. You see what's going on with Meta. Apple taking those measures as well, too, where the parents have more control over the use device.
You see iOS 27,
allowing them
more of that now.
More of that now, right? So they're really pushing this stuff. Why? Because I believe at some point the regulators will come after some of these device makers as well, too, just having the freedom
child protection
from
kind of
child
angle.
But this is why we have Apple doing this already, because they can see what is potentially to come.
Yeah, they read the writing on the wall.
They're reading the
writing on the wall. But I was
going
to say to you, I forget exactly what new parental feature is on, because it was like during the Apple event back, it was like June, sorry. So anyway, there's going to be a whole bunch of parental features, app-specific. So for example, TikTok, the Katina man was making it a very great point. Gia Katina is out all the time doing sports activities. She's self-motivated. So the Katina man doesn't mind too much that she comes in, she chills on TikTok a little bit because she does all the other requisite stuff. Not everybody's like that.
I was going to say, how many Gia? There's only one Gia Katina.
Well, for sure. But, Gia Katina in the name, but there's a lot of motivated kids. But the point is, not everybody's motivated like that, right? So, for example, I can set up a certain amount that RAM can be on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? If RAM exceeds 1 hour per day.
Just like that.
Love you, Ram. We know it's way more than an hour. Usually at work. But no, good out there. But the point is, you're gonna be able to limit screen time on app-specific names. I think there's more.
There's even there's features as well too that they're not going to be like internet access as well, and what you can download from apps. There's so many things.
Absolutely.
But I think it's important because you're seeing when in the largest social media platform, there was none of that. And I talked about a documentary that I watched not too long ago, just in regards to the fact of how Meta was prioritizing youth safety. they were more worried about political advertisement and going against certain parties than they were about child safety. And now they're
Where was the overlap between the two? I don't quite understand.
So it was a grading system.
Okay.
So within the grading system, one being a top priority, 2, 3, for example. That's not exactly how it was. So political statements was graded higher than anything in regards of child safety, like someone posting some weird stuff about and comments and that.
I can understand why they would prioritize political safety because of what happened in certain elections. We have
there's issues around the world because it's not just a North American-based platform.
Yeah,
you had
I think it's entirely reasonable to think that other countries.
But you're gonna prioritize it above child safety.
No,
you know what I mean. It doesn't go 1, 2, and then child safety.
I completely agree with you. But of course, you have to prioritize political or political misinformation. But I want to read here what Ben Zagel said, because this is honestly the other side of the coin when we talk about censorship, and it's this. A lot of this isn't about protection, he writes, or they write. It's more enforcing government control / censorship. They hate the fact that information is freely available and taking control from parents' hands. Okay, so I think those are two separate concepts there, at least the way that I see them. I don't like the nanny state where we need sort of to be babysat by government regulators who tell us this is good, this is bad. I'm simplifying it, of course, for brevity purposes. I think that is entirely different from active parenting. I see what you're saying there, though, where, rather than the, kind of relying on the active parenting, you're saying, well, the parents aren't doing good enough of a job. We're going to have to get in control. I think that there is a narrative, though, where you say, we have to protect against some misinformation. And we're seeing this specifically, I think, in the healthcare field, right? We're seeing a lot more of this around vaccination. However you kind of come down on that issue, you're seeing sort of, narratives push one way, the medical community pushing a different way. And, Joe Schmo and I, we're kind of caught in between. It's like, well, who do we believe, right? And I don't know if it's the right solution is for the government to tell us which one is right? I think that's from TikTok, Assassino says, man. Frankie Bumps, we love you too, brother. I freaking love you guys. You make me laugh so hard. Thanks so much for writing PFSA with you. Absolutely, man. Is this still going? Well, broke through 14. Point is, man, I get the point of trying to protect misinformation. I also see the importance of freedom of speech.
Yep.
I just don't know if the right solution is to limit that speech entirely and not give us kind of both
because
sides
it becomes subjective at some point, right? So, All right, guys, I'm gonna head over to the other desk. We'll let Shree give 60 seconds. See what our boy Neil is up to momentarily, and see what we got going on there, guys.
All right, man. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks for covering. Thanks for just being on, Joey. I know you got like double duty, so we gotta throw some respect your way, man. All right, guys. There's a lot going on right now. A lot of uptrends here. Don't look at the top left of your screen, but yeah, I get IPST's halted down. It's south of 22, so it was preceded by topping tail candle. Let's see if 20 holds here. IPST interesting cast as well, continuing to put higher lows and higher highs into that double top into 190, dropping into $0.75 now. PFSA as well, continuing to, I want to say, generally hold trend here, even though that topping tail candle into about 14.50, 14 1/3 rejects. We're down into 13. 13 though, it's above the 10 EMA, and it was a critical area of resistance initially. We couldn't get through it, so I think it's generally still holding trend. And OSRH, is this my biggest loser on the day? Holy cow. Guys, I'm 1 for 4 and green. I love those kind of days, man. 1 for 4. Red on OSRH. I don't know, somehow was red on CDTG, but IPST made up for all of that. So happy about that. That'll put us, good on the week, as we finished out last week pretty strong as well, even though last week started out pretty bad. In any event, OSRH, right around 81 pennies, 83 penny high, technically 82.99. I think that one's still an uptrend. And last but not least, CDTG. It is putting a bit of a downtrend here, but if this one can work above 5, specifically I want to say 5 1/3, you could see 6 again. But it has a tendency to kind of make a new high and then drop back down pretty quickly. So you got to be alive to that as well, guys. All right. It's time to send you to the big boys, Neil and Sean and, sorry, I'm tired. Neil and Joe. Just before we go, Assassino here, IPST's open. It's holding 21 for now. If this can get back above 23, where we have a lot of resistance, this one could be interesting. So I don't think IPST is done. Let's look for a hold at 20. If 20 holds, fantastic. If it gets above 23, I think that's also a good setup here. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day before